Welcome to Armchair Expert, Experts on Expert. I'm Dan Dubner, and I'm joined by Stephen Padman.
Hello.
Returning guest, one of our favorite guests. I think this is number 3 for him.
We love him.
God, we love him. We don't need any game plan.
No, he's just fun to talk to, and he's so interesting and has a lot of good thoughts.
I love him. He's like a polymath.
Mm-hmm.
He's cute and playful. Stephen Dubner.
I ran into him minutes after we
At
left.
Cara?
Yeah.
He was on his way there to meet somebody.
Yes, I ran into him, and he invited me to hang out with him.
Oh, he did?
But I had to pass up the opportunity.
Why?
Because I was working. I went there to work, and I had to complete it.
Did you see his guest?
Yes. He's a producer on Freakonomics.
Oh, okay. Stephen Dubner is the host of Freakonomics Radio and co-author of the Freakonomics books, which have won many awards and sold millions of copies around the world. 2025 is the 20th anniversary of the Freakonomics book and the 15th anniversary of Freakonomics Radio. Check out Freakonomics. The new edition drops November 11th, and his new television show out early 2026, which he is non-committal about the title, but currently it's titled Better in Person. So keep your eyes peeled for both of those Stephen Dubner projects. Please enjoy one of our faves, Stephen Dubner. This episode of Armchair Expert is presented by Apple Pay. You know, holiday shopping can be a hassle, but Apple Pay makes it so much easier. Whether you're shopping online or in-store, look for the Apple Pay button or contactless symbol at checkout. No more digging for your wallet or filling out long online checkout forms. It works at millions of places, including stores, websites, and apps. This means you can spend less time at checkout and more time finding the perfect gifts. Pay the Apple way. Terms apply.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Nice to see you.
We're so happy to have you
I'm sorry I'm late.
How are you?
I'm good.
Do you want or not want you can have them, of course, but I just
mean,
didn't
That's
want
one
you
of
to
his
forget.
endorsement deals. He actually
Yeah,
has to wear that.
It does feel warm with them on.
Yeah, just
I'm good.
That would be so un-Stephen Dubner, but what if he showed up and he had like all his
It's like,
gadgetry
sorry,
and
I just
shit?
have to.
No, I got to take off my ugly sunglasses. Well, it's not as bright in here as I was fearing.
I like the front. This is good. Really.
Thank you.
So wait, who is this really Rob?
Yeah, Rob
Yeah, he
designed the whole thing,
designed
and then
it.
he built a replica of this in Nashville for me.
You
in
living
like
there
5
part of the
seconds.
time?
Yeah, we built the house there and we spent the whole summer
Congratulations.
there.
That's, you spend the summer in Nashville?
We spent the entire summer in Nashville. It's on the lake.
Oh, okay.
So
I was gonna say-
boating and
Right, because you could
in
have
and
like
out of the lake.
Okay, you could have an antiperspirant endorsement then.
it's hot.
Because it is really hot in
It's
the
hot as
South.
Hades.
You grew up South Carolina
Sure
or
did,
something?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot.
It was a great exercise in framing the whole summer. Because I was like, you know when you go to Hawaii, or if you go to Hawaii, have you ever been?
No.
Okay, but have you been down to the Caribbean?
You gotta go.
Yes.
Yes, of course. And you go down there, and it's hot. It's objectively
Very
hot.
hot.
But you go, yeah, the Caribbean is hot. I love it. And you just love it because you decided you love it.
Right.
And I was like,
It's a good attitude.
it was a great experience of like, oh, yeah, I always have the option to frame it in a way that I'll enjoy
It's a very-
it. It's
it's a very
literally
good-
up to me.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I try to do that more. It's hard though.
It is.
It's hard with like mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That's impossible
It
to
depends
do.
on the intensity of the inputs.
Yes.
How much you can affect the output.
Exactly.
But you're right. But I love, and I've been trying to do more and more what you're saying. Not like just take a problem and turn it into an opportunity, like they say. Like there are a lot of business school sayings like that.
Yeah.
That are sometimes true, and I think sometimes inspiring for some people some of the time.
Yeah.
But they're a little, whatever. But I just think that I think we all have the ability to control our frame of mind much more than we do. Simple as that.
Yeah, can I give you
Yes.
one more? So we live about 40 minutes outside of Nashville.
Okay.
And so once or twice a week, we would drive into Nashville and go hit a great restaurant. And we'd all get in the car as a family and we drive there and we listen to music. And about midway there on our like 6th time doing it, I said to Kristen, I said, you know what's insane? We would never drive 45 minutes to LA to get something to eat. We would be, if we had to, we'd be complaining the entire way. But I'm like, this is really fun family time.
It's like Confederate money. You're playing with it's a different currency.
Yes.
45 minutes is just like, it's what we're doing.
Also,
It's what we're-
vacation.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
By Confederate money, I didn't mean no. Oh,
Like the
you don't remember?
Mason-Dixon line.
Well, when I was
You'd be
little,
Nashville for real.
when I was little, you would still come across Confederate money.
Okay, that had been printed during the Civil War.
Apparently.
Whoa.
Okay.
And it was worthless, but people tried to say, like, I'll give you 5 Confederate dollars for like 25 cents. And some people would take it.
We could do 25 minutes on the Civil War because that actually got us to a version of, we came off of the gold and silver standard in the North, and we started our modern way of printing money backed by nothing really started during the Civil War.
Is that right? I know nothing about
That's
this.
when it started.
Teach me more.
No, that was that.
It's funny. I'm embarrassed to say this. I've never really known all that much about the U.S. Civil War, which I feel kind of silly about as an American who likes history well enough and, medium smart person.
Yeah.
But lately I've been reading about it in kind of sideways ways and becoming deeply fast. It just felt like one of those things like you have to know everything about it and you learn it in school. And then Ken Burns said this, which was a lot to absorb. And I didn't absorb it all.
Yeah.
I absorbed the emotional, highlights maybe.
Yes.
But now I'm starting to kind of see it for what it was.
So my route in was the Grant biography by Chernow is insanely
new,
good.
Right? This is in the last few months, right?
No,
that's
his
just
new
Mark
one is
Twain.
Mark Twain.
Oh, Mark Twain. Oh, when was the Grant? Before Hamilton?
That's you're conflating authors.
I have no
Hamilton.
Oh, Chernow.
Yeah,
Wait.
Chernow. Ron Chernow.
I thought Ron Chernow was Hamilton.
No, I think Hamilton.
Where is Perplexity AI? We need to know.
Who's the
every
other
book
one
that-
you like?
Didn't he also write a book on a banker?
McCullough.
David McCullough.
McCullough did Adams.
McCullough did the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes, the
That was
Great
a
Bridge.
I love that book.
And the Path Between Two Seas.
What's that?
That's the Panama Canal.
Panama
McCullough. Yeah, the most boring and interesting books of all time, McCullough. Okay, now this crossed my mind as I was walking downstairs, and I knew you were coming. And as I was coming down the stairs, I found myself saying over and over again, Stephen Dubner. And then I wanted to ask you, do you find that people inordinately want to say your name in an English accent?
No, and I've
because
never-
it rings of governor.
Oh.
Like we all like to say governor. And so do people go, Stephen Governor? Am I way out too far on a limb? I am. Okay.
Except, like, my initial response is, you were totally bonkers and wrong.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, I have this one friend, a good friend, close friend,
Yeah.
with 3 kids who I used to see a lot when they were little. And now I think about it, they called me, like, to this day, and now they're grown and they have kids of their own. But in that family, I am known as the governor. That's right.
And do they say it in that accent?
Just be
all
aware
the
of it.
time. Yeah. But the fact is that I never really registered it until you gave me that.
Well,
So
I
thank you.
started asking myself, why am I so inclined to say
Right.
Stephen Dubner?
Yeah, I too was like, what are you doing?
Okay.
But it does make sense.
I had to chase it down. So just
Wow.
clock it, and then in our next interview in 3 years, just tell me, like, you know what, you were kind of right. People do that to me.
Wow.
Okay.
We
You
love
wanna just give
having
them to
you
me?
I wanna
here.
start-
I love being here. I
Yeah,
really do.
we
I was really
really-
looking forward to seeing you guys.
That's
I appreciate
exactly
it.
what I was going to say.
Yeah,
really do.
it's always a joy.
You and Angela.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just go, oh, great, they're coming. I have nothing to do. You know, you interview people, like, there's a handful
I know.
of people.
No, you're right.
You
And
just
there's
check.
some you look forward to. I mean, I look forward to them all, but I'm also scared of everyone.
Sure.
You
sure.
know.
What do you mean?
Well, for Freak Radio, I interview like maybe it could be between 0 and 8 people a week, tapings, and they could run from 60 to whatever, 1 to 2 hours, whatever. But it could be like an academic who's been writing on a topic for 30 years, and I've read one paper.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I'm trying, and I have researchers, we have producers on the show who are great.
Okay.
They're great. They work incredibly hard. And they create for me, for every single guest, I'll have a prep of like 10 to 20 pages with all kinds of excerpts, citations, etc. So we all do a lot of work beforehand.
Yeah.
But if it's someone that I don't know, I have reason to think that they may be, anxious, nervous.
Video makes it very interesting.
I'm
'cause
trying
you
to
can't
so
cut
ignore it.
around it. You can't cut around it.
Just
yeah.
can't cut it.
You know?
You can only be on us for so long.
Well, the reason I'm particularly like palpitating right now, thinking about this, and I've even forgotten the original question, is that that I'm starting a TV show and
Called Better in Person.
well, maybe we'll talk about that. We're still kind of in search of titles, but when you learn to do something in a given medium, right? So I started in music. Like within music, I was very comfortable. It takes a long time to get there. Then became a writer. Within journalism or book writing, it takes a while, but then you get there. Podcasting now I've done for 15 years. It took a long time. I'm very comfortable. But every time you think about doing a new thing, I don't know about for you guys, but I feel like what should feel cumulative, like I've got a lot of experience, I know a lot, I feel like I kind of, it's not cumulative.
Yes.
It's like scratch pen, you rip it off and it's blank page again. This should be served with a moist towelette.
Yeah.
It should.
Yeah,
Maybe
really.
even a full hand towel.
Or like a face bidet. Actually, face bidet is not a bad idea.
That's a thing, Stephen. We've had those for quite a minute here.
But
You have to use your hands and like just something you could,
I see.
You want to spray at.
and then dry.
You could bend down and use the bidet as a face bidet. It's on the
I'm not
table.
going to do
Ew.
that.
You're not going to do it.
I'm not doing that.
I'm with you. Angela Duckworth actually was on an episode we once made. It was a live show we did. We had a kind of game show for a while. And the episode was called, Would You Eat a Piece of Chocolate Shaped Like Dog Poop? Oh. And it was about this notion that once you think, he's fine with using the bidet for his face. But once you think of something in a disgusting mode, it's really hard to flip it.
Well, that power of disgust is its own, like, there's so much work on disgust, right? It's even what causes genocides and stuff, right? It's the number one thing that's kind of like leveraged and weaponized.
Did we know that? I mean, that
I think
makes
part
sense
of
when
it,
you
yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
Disgust is a very, it's the thing that's weird about it is it's very necessary for hygiene, obviously, for
Yes.
not
Health.
eating the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
But when it becomes disgust in other people, wow. And we're seeing a not low level of global disgust in other people, I would say.
Exactly.
I don't know if we know the real level,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
but it feels not low.
We talked yesterday on a fact check. I just edited it, so it's fresh, about poop. And of course, we talked about how all animals eat poop except us.
Is that true?
Yeah, we're
That's
very
what he
unique in
says.
that.
All
we don't.
animals eat poop?
He said that.
Was it true?
Most of them do because they need to pick up each other's gut biome.
Oh. That's a whole other story that I like.
Yes. And so it's very, very weird that we don't. Watch other primates. They eat directly
Isn't
out
that
of
why?
they eat it from the source sometimes.
I was with
okay?
you until you got to. It's very
Right?
weird that we don't.
Yes,
I'm
that's where
sorry.
this
I got to get
conversation
off the
went.
Dax train there.
If the definition of weird is that like it is super asymmetric,
Okay,
then
you're right.
and there's,
All right.
you got all these primates. And
Once again, you're right.
we're the-
The
It's
governor,
unique.
you were right
It's
with the
unique.
governor. You were right. So let me just.
I don't want to be
Don't put
right.
that fast, Stephen.
Can I just summarize? Dax Shepard says we should be eating our own poop. That's
No,
the headline.
Let's
to
be
drawn
very
from this.
clear because you've already out of contexted me. I said it's very weird we don't, which is much different than we should.
Yeah, I feel
That's
your
true.
version would actually be more incendiary. It's very weird that we don't eat our poop.
Well, what
Mine sounds prima facie dumb. Like there's no way he would have said that.
Brian.
Yours sounds
'Cause it's like-
logical.
It's kind of smart, but it's
very
still-
smart.
Yeah.
Well, but what I got curious about is like, how recently is this? If we're seeing all the other primates don't.
Yeah.
And my quick theory was, I bet when we were hunting and gathering societies in a group of 100 and we didn't live with animals and we didn't have all these weird diseases, I bet it was fine. And then I bet once we started living in civilizations, people who did eat poop dropped like flies because there was so much bacteria and all these diseases. I mean, I bet it happened pretty quick.
I would love to know the answer to that question.
Me
I would
too.
also love to know the
That's a challenge to
median number.
Dawkins.
Yes, please. The median number of days that it takes for different species for their poop to lose the smell. Because, you know,
that's
if you come across dried dog or goose poop, whatever, deer or whatever, it has no odor.
It's
Yeah.
tolerable. Yes, the mechanism is clearly olfactory. It's not
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
Right. Because they look like chocolate, you know, nice little.
Sure.
They look like Tootsie Rolls and stuff.
Wow.
Especially the rabbits. Rabbits and deer.
Ew,
Beautiful.
we mentioned the rabbit poop
Nicely
too.
shaped.
We went
Like
through
Joe.
the rate that animals create waste,
That's
and it's
right.
shocking. Some animals are shitting 60 times a day.
No, rabbits 200 to 300 times a day.
200 to 300 times a day.
It does suggest some markets that are maybe under, you know, bunny bidet, first of all. I've never seen that.
Bunny pooper scooper,
That's right.
bunny diapers. But anyways,
All
Okay,
right.
what I
This
want-
is not what
when I-
you wanted me here to talk
Sorry.
about.
No,
Well-
what I wanted to say as a preamble is, and I got half of it out, which is like, I just love when you're on, and honestly, any topic that comes up, I'm probably going to be super interested in your take on it. And so in that vein, instead of me doing like my normal research, I just kind of came up with some topics I want your opinion on.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
And one thing and it's not going to be called Better in Person, but one of the descriptions you made, which we both feel you on deeply, is your goal with Better in Person is instead of just interviewing an expert on a topic, this is far more a conversation where we hope to learn what kind of human this person is, which is always what I want.
I'm just ripping you off.
No, you're not. You were 8 years before us. There's your 15-year anniversary, and we're coming up on 8.
No, but I mean, my new thing is just ripping off
Oh,
this thing.
That's
Okay.
fine. That's flattering.
Yeah, I'll
We'll
take it.
take
Yeah.
it.
If you're imitating us, I think we've
Yeah.
done something really special.
I agree.
Okay. And then as an experiment, they'll be last, as I've never done this.
Yeah.
It feels unethical. I asked AI for the
Oh.
first time ever,
Yeah.
hey, I'm interviewing Stephen Dubner for the third time.
Did he
and
tell you don't say his name like
he
that?
doesn't like it. He's never heard it. And, what are some topics that
Yeah.
we could have fun conversing
Can I just tell
about?
you, I do that a lot.
Oh, you do?
I do it all the time.
Okay, that's
I
the-
think AI is an amazing, I'm using this much of one fingernail of the gigantic
Yes.
herd of robots, but I think what you did is normal or will be normal
I
soon.
did it yesterday for a big guest.
Oh, you did? So you just had your first experience as well?
yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
You didn't like it?
I thought they were all.
Wait, can I tell
bland.
you what engine were you using with chat? So I feel like whatever. I happen to use one called Perplexity because I like it and it's simple. It's a really simple interface that pulls from a lot of models, which I think is probably valuable. Anyway, what I like about it is you can push it subtly and it keeps coming. So like, those are perfectly fine, interesting. Like if I say, tell me 5 interesting things about Dax Shepard. It'll give me blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I say, well, those are fine, but I know those and I want something more along the lines of X, Y, or Z.
Right.
But the X, Y, or Z could be like animal, mineral, or vegetable. It could be, I want more emotional stuff. I want more moto racing stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel it's a great research tool.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a substitute. It's like, when computers started beating humans in chess and Go, which is very complicated years ago, people were, as they always are, worried with these new technologies, like, oh, people will now stop playing chess.
Right.
And in fact, that's had the opposite effect because no one wants to watch two machines play each other. We like humans.
Yes.
I like you guys.
Yes.
You may like me.
And that was even a little bit of my ethical justification as I was like, well, A, I'm going to tell you I did this. And then B, these are just prompts for you and I and Monica, and then that'll be the real thing.
Exactly.
So it's
that
like the
makes
actual
sense.
meat and potatoes. But I got to say, so it gave me 10, and I liked like 7 of
Wow,
them. Like
I'm
7 of them are
impressed.
very much ones I would want to hear your opinion. And then I have a good relationship with mine. It then said, do you want me to come
That's what I
up
want to
with
talk about.
5 or 6 speed round fun irreverent questions like I did yesterday?
That was an offer from out of nowhere.
Pulling from a previous search of
It
mine.
does like you.
And I said,
I'm jealous now because mine doesn't do that
it
kind of
kept
stuff.
offering more and more. And then I was like this. And then it said, do you want me to design an arc of how you could lay these out?
It did not.
Oh my God! Do you think?
Yeah, I could show it to you. It's incredible.
But do you think he knows you're a celebrity and he's
No, I
trying
told him
to?
I am the host of Armchair Expert.
I know, but I'm saying maybe he's like, oh, it's a celebrity. I gotta impress
He's
him.
nervous.
Like, yeah,
Oh.
he's nervous and he wants to do well. Yeah, this is fascinating. Do you think it's unethical? Okay, so have you heard the guy who tried to ask his AI to count to 1 million?
No.
You must watch this video.
It's
We'll
incredible.
send it to you.
Okay.
And she refuses to do it,
Yeah.
which then is a little startling because it's like she can. Why won't she do it? Yikes! But then he's getting so mad at her, and he's being like verbally
He
abusive.
keeps going, don't be difficult.
Maybe he calls her a bitch.
Oh.
Like he gets, maybe it's not, he gets very
He's abusive.
mean. And is it ethical?
For him?
Yeah, to be mean to this robot.
Here's what I would I mean, I guess I could think on it more, but my first response would say not only is it not unethical,
Right.
because we know that the emotion that's being mistreated is not a human emotion.
Correct. Yes.
And we also know that the people who write that code and make that machine, they understand the way barriers are shiftable and so on. And additionally, I would say it's a really nice use of technology to absorb maybe someone's hostility that doesn't have to be then directed to a real person.
I did end up saying that.
Yeah, and you have to imagine he's sitting in his living room with a remote control going, "You fucking bitch."
But it's just weird because it is responding. And then you're like, she's getting yelled at and she's nothing.
He's like, "You're a fucking computer. It's not like you have any like
I mean, it's definitely abusive. But no, like it's like abuse the lawnmower, abuse
Right,
just
exactly.
abuse the AI, don't abuse, people.
save
or
your
dogs.
patience for humans."
Yeah, I think that's a good, that's good. I like the NFL a lot. And I often think of it, especially at this late, relatively advanced state in our civilization, as a proxy for war. It's very warlike if you think about everything about it. It's very warlike, but also, the pageantry around it now, et cetera, et cetera. But I think, if these guys are willing to go do that, and they get compensated well, but it's an unbelievably hard, difficult, and physical thing to do. If they're willing to go do that for their entertainment, for their making a living for their family, et cetera, and we get to watch that and feel like it was warlike, and if then that diminishes our appetite for real war, I think that's a great thing. And so similarly, I would say this bozo yelling at his AI, it's probably for the good.
Yeah, I agree with you the whole way. So what I loved was Malcolm did Revenge of Tipping Point this year.
He did.
And I read it and I loved it. And so Freakonomics this is the 20th anniversary.
Yes.
And on November 11th, we're going to have a new edition.
Yeah, but I just want to be super clear. It's the original book.
Yeah, that's fine.
I wrote a new foreword, but I did one interview before you. I'm sorry. I meant to come here virginally. I failed. But
Virginally.
And the person who was lovely said, I want you to tell me what, about all the new things in the book. And I said, no, there's nothing new in it. She
there's
said,
a foreword and a new jacket.
Right. And then she said, but we could talk about it as if there is a lot new. And I said, no, that would really be wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, I'm first and foremost a writer. That's what I started as. It's what I am. And so I take all that stuff seriously. So this is, yes, but you're right. We are publishing a new edition, which has a new foreword, which did take me like 6 months to write 3
Jesus
pages.
Christ,
because
You're a little rusty, huh?
No, it's not rusty. It was a forced occasion to replay this 20-year movie, which has been amazing. But also, it was tied to... this is not what you asked, so you may not want to know this, but I'll tell you until you shut me up. But I'm having a problem in my home office of getting rid of all my archives. So I have archives from when I was a musician. I have set lists from my band, all of them, but I can't throw them away. I was staring down those boxes one day in my office and just faced with paralyzed dread.
Yeah.
And then I got a text from Steve Levitt, my co-author on Freakonomics, and he said, "Happy 20th anniversary of publication." It was the day. And I didn't even remember the day.
Yeah.
I don't know how he remembered, because he's not a sentimental guy. And that made me, so this is what I ended up writing the foreword about. But honestly, it's just honestly, what I'm feeling around this 20-year anniversary is what anybody feels as they get older. Even you're young, but as you get older, you have such a different reckoning and appreciation for your own past and the past of other people.
Yeah.
Things mean more. Life is cumulative. It's not, I feel this way now instead of that. It's I feel this and all of those other things too.
Yes.
And in some ways, I think you get wiser. I've really enjoyed that. You get more experience. In some ways, you get, there's inevitable sadness because, death is this thing that I've always tried to just really ignore it. I'll be honest with you.
I know.
Even though my
How old are
father
you?
died when I was a kid. I'm 62 and I'm the youngest of 8. And I've always been the protected baby boy, and they're starting to go. That's the thing. And I, as the youngest,
What's the biggest gap? Your oldest?
Youngest to oldest is 17. I'm the youngest. My oldest is 17 years older.
Yeah,
He's
17.
big.
He's very healthy and fit. He's a former
great.
Air Force pilot who is I think he could beat us all up.
Wow.
He's anyway.
Bring up Malcolm because what I thought was really cool about the Revenge of the Tipping Point was he starts by kind of acknowledging this was written in a different time, a different context. And I was a different person.
Yeah.
And so let me look back on it now in a different context as a different person. And like, what do I agree with or not? And it's kind of a takedown piece of his own book, which I just thought was really cool and brave and interesting.
I probably could have or should have done that maybe. I
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
So one of his was like, the broken windows chapter.
Right.
He's like, well, now we know that was bullshit.
Well,
So is there anything that you look back at in the book and you're like, minimally I wouldn't write that now.
yeah. So I will say that what Malcolm said is pretty close to the way a lot of the things that I feel about Freakonomics, in that you're a much younger person, but also, like he said, the time was different.
Yeah.
So I did go back and read the book, and I liked it.
Yeah,
I was very
That's good.
pleasantly
Yeah,
surprised.
that's great.
I liked it because I didn't, I thought it was just our main incentive was to be truthful and be interesting. It was really simple as that, and to have fun. Like
Yeah.
both Levitt and I, we don't take ourselves too seriously. So, we reported and researched and fact-checked and dotted every I. So I wasn't concerned about that. We did have one thing shortly after publication that we found out had been wrong, which was a kind of terrible thing. This guy that we wrote about as having heroically gone undercover in the Ku Klux Klan and exposed them. And he did do a lot of that type of work, but he kind of conflated his own identity with that of another guy who did the undercover stuff. And he wrote books about it. We interviewed him. He'd been in all these histories of civil rights movement and Klan. And it turned out that he had exaggerated. So I'd never heard or read a word about any claims like this. But when we published our book, Freakonomics 2005, someone wrote to us who had been a collaborator of that guy much later, working on a book together. So they were working
Close.
side by side. And this guy had access to a set of very robust and valuable archives that were essentially private archives. They weren't on the public record. So I went into those archives, looked at everything, found out that this guy who was saying that our main character had exaggerated was probably very accurate. I went to our subject. This guy's name was Stetson Kennedy. He's gone now, but he was quite old then. And I said, I need to talk to you about something kind of important. He was in Florida. I flew down to Florida.
Does that confrontation give you anxiety, or are you excited to have
No, anxiety. Sadness.
Okay.
Sadness.
Yeah.
Because I am 99.9% I'm right.
Yeah.
So I envision, what's he going to say? He's either going to deny, or it's going to be like, oh, shit.
Right.
And none of those are good.
This is like
It's
the
not a
Brian
fun-
Williams thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's like
yeah,
I don't
know.
take any joy in
None.
Or
finding
it's
out
the
he
million
failed.
little pieces guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
That
same
one
thing.
really broke my heart because it was
Yeah,
such a
I
beautiful
know.
book.
Yeah.
I know.
And it didn't matter.
But Oprah felt very betrayed.
Yes, she
I
did.
mean, no, it's not a good feel. And I guess, although the one emotion I hadn't considered for myself was feeling betrayed by him, even though that probably wouldn't have been inappropriate.
Right, exactly.
Anyway,
Okay, so you fly there.
I do, and I sit and I tell him the whole story. I tell him the guy who gave me all this information, because he knows him. He worked with him.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just said, I don't know what you're talking. None of that makes any sense. I don't know what you're talking about. Kind of,
Double down.
Yeah. And so I was convinced that we were right. So I ended up writing in the New York Times a column that explained this mistake we'd made. But that's what journalists do. That's what writers do. If you get had, or if you make a mistake, you have to admit it. So anyway, that was a long way of saying that I don't think there's anything in Freakonomics that we would do really differently for the people we were then.
But you would agree, right? There's even within the spectrum of conclusions.
Yeah.
There's a great spectrum of conclusions based on, So in some ways you might look at the exact same data and maybe make a very similar point, but it might be a little bit over here to the left or the right.
I agree. And I think a good example of that is probably the most famous claim from the book about the relationship between legalized abortion and crime.
Yeah.
So there are kind of two tracks of that. The first track is that Steve Levitt and this guy, John Donahue, who's now at Stanford, I believe, a legal scholar, had done this paper before I met Levitt. This is how Levitt kind of got on the map, that showed a relationship, a correlation, a causal relationship between the legalization of abortion and the crime rate. And
Reduction.
their argument basically, it was not a complicated argument. It takes a long time to describe it only because there's a kind of collage of evidence that goes into making it up. But the argument essentially is that abortion often serves as I was going to say a form of birth control. That's not really right.
Preventing an unwanted child.
It's a decision that happens often when a would-be mom, feels like the time and place are not right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would make the umbrella that large because there are a lot of things that can go into that.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you're very young. Maybe you've already got kids and the time is not right. Maybe you or your family are in bad financial situation.
Exactly.
Maybe you're starting to get divorced from the father. Maybe you were raped.
Maybe you live in a place with so much violence. There's so many.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
This message is brought to you by Apple Pay.
Dax, can you believe it's already fall? This year's flown by.
I know, right? But fall is my jam. Remember that farmer's market we hit up last weekend?
Yes, all those vendors with their yummy apple ciders and the big pumpkins. I love big pumpkins.
Artisanal apple cider, don't forget. And the smell of fresh baked goods, heaven. But here's what blew my mind. So many vendors accepted Apple Pay.
It was so convenient. I love Apple Pay. Everywhere I saw the contactless symbol, I just double-clicked the side button on my phone to bring up my card, and then just a quick little Face ID scan, tap, boom.
Yeah.
So easy.
Apple Pay's been my MVP this season to buy festive fall treats and drinks.
And you know I'm on a mission to find the best fall-themed latte in town. You know this.
I do know that. How's it going? That maple one you were telling me about sounded pretty insane.
It was so good. And get this, you can also use Apple Pay at lots of cafes. No fumbling for your wallet. Just double-click, tap, and sip.
It works at millions of places anywhere you see the contactless symbol in stores or see the Apple Pay button online and in apps.
Exactly. Making it easier to enjoy all the fall goodness.
Speaking of which, I'm totally set for Halloween. Apple Pay made it a breeze to purchase the perfect decorations online. Right from my iPhone, I just tap the Apple Pay button at checkout, double-click to authenticate, and boom, payment complete. No long checkout forms, no fuss.
Fall festivities have never been more fun or easy.
Pay the Apple way. Terms apply.
So there's a lot. And there is a body of social science research that argues unquestionably that when a child is born into a wanted situation, let's call it, whatever the
Yes.
family is.
Yeah, planned.
We don't, right. Well, not even planned
Right,
necessarily.
right. That's true.
Yes.
Not even planned. Because honestly, I'm the 8th of 8. I don't know how planned I was, but I was very loved.
Yeah.
I mean, on my birthday, all my older sisters write about the day I came home from the hospital and how happy they were to have a new
So
baby
I would
boy.
have killed for an older sister.
Yeah, I mean, I have
They're
4 if
really-
you need one.
I am one.
Have you written a lot of letters to Neil about the day he arrived? You might want to get on that
I
this year.
held him when he was little and stuff like that. But older sisters are great.
Older sisters are great. Anyway, wantedness is good, unwantedness is bad.
Yeah.
The odds are if a baby is born into a home where that baby is not wanted, there is a higher chance that that kid will have a bad outcome in life. When I say bad outcome, meaning lower education, higher crime, lower income, et cetera. This is inarguable, okay?
Yeah.
So the argument from Steve Levitt and John Donahue was that the legalization of abortion provided a way to reduce unwantedness. And if, therefore, you reduce unwantedness, what is one of the many other effects you might have down the road? Maybe fewer people committing crimes because they're growing up in a better circumstance. So,
But the crime one is so juicy in so many ways because all of us have been watching this plummeting crime rate and everyone's got a take, right? Whether it's this was broken windows. That was yet another stab at how it came down.
Right.
The one I heard that was absolutely shocking was in Sweden. I'm pretty sure Sweden, somewhere in Scandinavia. They had a reduction in these small petty crimes, and they really wanted to know what they were doing that had caused this. And after studying it for a very, very long time, what they ended up finding out was people just stopped reporting them. People in Sweden came to accept it as just a part of life. You have things stolen from your car, and you just accept it. And it's like, oh, wow. Who's going to think of that? They're just the same amount are happening. They're just not being reported.
Yeah.
And so, it's such a dynamic
Yeah, it's not one size
situation.
fits all either.
But we're so inclined to find out so we can triple down on it and eliminate it. I see the incentive.
well, but your example is so good because also we've all been herded into and almost what's the cattle prod? Electric shock. we're getting, our brains are just getting prodded every day to be more binary in our thinking, right? Hate, love, yes, no, black, white, etc. Whereas one of the great strengths of the human mind is that we're not binary thinkers. We're extremely variegated in time and dimensions. The human mind, like, I am astonished still, but, I love talking to people. I love hearing how, there are just these little just synapses happening in your muscle, just like mine, but they come to something totally different.
What you're actually discovering when you talk to people is what the ratio is of these binary options. That's actually what you discover.
Yeah.
It's almost like we are all somewhere on this spectrum. If you reduce it to the poles, it's binary.
Right.
But really what we're discovering is like, no, I'm 39% liberal, right? Or I'm 46% in favor of the death penalty. Like, that's what's interesting.
Do you also then discover in the course of a conversation, like what is the Venn diagram between you and that person and the types of synapses that are fired?
That's where I start.
Right.
When I'm researching someone, I'm just trying to earmark all the things that we have in common that I can jump off from there, right? Oh, you were dyslexic. Like we know this experience. How did that downriver
That's
itself?
smart. That's smart. I look for all the ways in which I'm inferior when I do that instead of having common.
Isn't that funny? We do I'm always looking for advice. I'm like, you know something I don't. Tell me about this.
I mean, honestly, I think all three, maybe my method is bad. Yours is good and yours is good. Looking for things in common so that you can have an actual conversation makes perfect sense. I don't know why.
Yours is good too.
But you just brought me to the actual thing I most want to tackle with you. That is potentially most dicey. Do you think that we have entered a moment where silence is the biggest protest imaginable?
I'll be honest with you. I don't participate very much in the online world.
Yeah.
I really don't. I use digital stuff all the time. But if we think of the online world as kind of like a second conversation that's happening for many people, that's not a conversation I really get involved with, I'll be honest with you. And therefore, I'm aware of it because I have people who are in that conversation, but I'm not really in it. And so this sounds bad, but I don't really... One of the many things I don't like about living deep in that online world is that there are these compulsions that don't really seem to jibe with actual human nature. There are expectations that if you don't think or say or feel a certain thing about, it could be anything, then you're going to be either outgrouped or thought less of. And I think that that's just never the way that humans have thrived. Like when I look at human history, and I'm not a great historian, but I love history. I love reading it. I love talking to historians because I'm like a child. I just don't know that much. But I didn't appreciate I didn't really like history when I was a student at all because I didn't get what older people say about history being instructive. To me, you read history because you had to. Right. And sometimes it happened to be interesting. And you would remember the interesting things. Now I read history because it's like reading it's the reason that people read philosophy. It's the reason 100%. People read old religious stuff. It's all of these things is you're looking, the human condition has changed a lot. Yeah. But I don't think the human has changed that much.
No.
And therefore it can be thrilling, intoxicating, scary, et cetera, to see what history has brought for us that we can remember now.
Okay, I'll use a very specific example. Yeah. And it's a dangerous one, but I'll use it. You are going to dinner with people. You are having dinner parties. You are out and about. And I think there is this absolute insistence that you declare whether you are...
Do you hate Israel or love Israel?
Pro-Netanyahu or pro-Hamas. Yeah, so I'm over here going, guys, you've presented me with the two shittiest fucking options in the world.
I understand.
I don't want either of these options. They both fucking suck. And you should stand up and say they fucking suck. And we should not get drugged into this situation that's been ongoing. And now we all get sucked into it. Yeah. But I do think the most dangerous thing is to go like, absolutely not. I'm not saying that side's right or that side's right. The most I can tell you is both sides suck.
Yeah. So I misunderstood your question. I'm glad you used the specific. So I love that. I'll have a conversation with anybody, anytime about anything. It's like what I like to do. I really do. Yeah. And especially in the last 10, 15 years, I've been, or maybe 20, I've met types of people that I never thought I would have met, just because of the nature of what I've ended up doing professionally. And then I became a golfer, and that introduced me into a world that I had these preconceptions about, and I was so wrong. But when someone comes at me with the binary, you're for us or against us.
Yeah.
What I try to do, what I probably do mostly, is I say, okay, so first of all, let's define terms. Literally, that's what I say. And that's a trick I think I learned from academia. Like, if you're going to call someone, let's take it away from the fascism or whatever. If you're going to call someone in economic terms a communist or a socialist, whatever, let's define terms. Are we talking about the socialism of 2025 Denmark?
Yeah.
We talking about the socialism of 1925 Vienna. It's a big difference now.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? So this goes back to, I wonder if you've ever come across this in talking with Angela or anyone else in that realm. I'm probably going to get all these facts wrong, but in my memory, there's something called the illusion of explanatory depth. Basically, if you ask people, if you go to a family gathering, let's say, right? People know you know them, you have some prior expectations. And so you think there's a topic, just go up to them and start asking them about hot button issues, whatever you think they are, right? And you feel people get pretty heated pretty quickly. But then if you take one of those hot button issues, let's say it's gun control or immigration or something, and ask them in a non-obnoxious way, which is hard, but ask them to explain, like, what do you mean exactly by border control or whatever.
Yes.
So it turns out that people just don't know what they're talking about most of the time, but we all pretend to. But the reason I don't like that is we pretend to in order to have a position, in order to be in a tribe that I want to get out of. Like, I don't I think this idea that we've all allowed ourselves to be herded into two political parties
and
is
that makes us,
bonkers.
but even more offensive, that people feel unique in expressing the opinion that 50% of the country all have. Like, I got another point. Like, yeah, I heard it from everybody on your fucking team. You all have the same fucking point. Come to me when you've had an original thought.
I also think...
I'm sorry, Monica, that's just hard to follow because you just have to give the room a minute.
I know.
That was very well done.
He's so mad.
No, that was very good.
Because I think you don't have to pick a side. But if someone cares about something, that's also okay.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that-
Of course.
Not of course.
Oh, you're saying
to
not of course.
everyone.
You're saying
No, I
You're saying
totally
Dax
disagree.
is a not of course. You're saying Dax
Again,
is not an of
we
course.
would agree. This is a great example for us we would have to agree on terms.
Mm-hmm.
Do I not want people to care about stuff? That's not at all what I want. What I don't want is for someone to be heralded as brave for repeating the already agreed upon tenets of their tribe in public. It's not a conversation. They didn't sit with someone and converse. They broadcasted the talking points of their tribe, and people are like, so brave. Not brave at all. Being brave is going against your tribe, saying the opposite thing that's been agreed upon. That's bravery. The other thing is grandstanding.
But there is a reality to the world in which you do need it's like what we heard about protesting. It works because you see that there are so many people who do think like you think, who are willing to stand up against something else, and you get emboldened by that. So there's a reality that voices and numbers help.
So I agree with you, and that's the emperor wears new clothes analogy that Steven Pinker just gave us, and that's totally true. What if they're already completely known? That we already know, we know. So the person that's standing up and continuing to yell, it's already been acknowledged. We all know. Now this is a pointless endeavor. And additionally, the arrogance that you think you have converted somebody, you haven't converted anyone. Not one of the people yelling has converted someone from the other side. So it's pointless. It's not brave. It's grandstanding. And it's further cementing us in this tribe. It is the actual problem.
I'm glad you two came to me for help because it's obvious there's an irreconcilable difference here.
I think there might be.
And I'd like to say, in all honesty, I think you're both right. I think you're both right. Two seemingly, I wouldn't even say these things are opposite. They can, but they plainly can coexist. What I hear you both saying is that one of the most painful things, I know for me, I think for everybody, is to be somewhere between being misunderstood and being accused of something you didn't do. That is a great human injustice, and it always has been. Anybody who's ever been accused of something they didn't, like, we've all been accused of things we did.
Yeah.
We've
Right.
we've all gotten off with things we did and didn't get caught.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when you're accused of something you didn't do, you feel this outrage, and I feel like that's the temperature of the far end of the spectrum now.
Yeah.
It does feel like it's threatening your existence in this bizarre way. I think it triggers your
right.
actual sense of...
I thought I was living in a world that made sense, and now it doesn't. I had one in ninth grade, maybe, in school. So I was a good student. I didn't, whatever. It came kind of naturally.
Yeah.
We had good brain power in the family, and I was the youngest of 8, like I said. And so I kind of like knew the stuff before I got to the grade, which was handy. I knew the French, just because being in a family was like being in school, kind of.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I was decent at math. I liked math. And on a math test, I had the teacher bring it back to me. Like, she made me stay after class, bring it back. So this teacher, she was convinced that I had cheated on the test. I got like a 97 on the test. And she was convinced I cheated. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. I'd never cheated. I had people cheat off of me. But I was also very shy as a kid. So, like, if I weren't shy, I would have said, "What are you talking about?" Or I would have said to my mother when I got home, like, "This is going on with Mrs. So-and-so." Yeah. But I did none of that because I was very shy and obedient and kind of, willing to take a beating as a kid.
I don't like that at all.
And then, so she made me take the retest, and I got a 98, one better, which didn't surprise me because I had seen the test before. And you know what she did after? Nothing.
Because she was now embarrassed.
Nothing. And I was so pissed because it felt like an injustice. So I feel like now the world is full of people who have some version of that feeling, like something is being done to them, taken from them, said about them, or done to, taken from, said about people that they know and love.
Yeah.
And you kind of, it's a strange mix of reactions. You don't know how to respond.
Yeah, where are you at personally on this? We would all agree. The most divisive moment that in my life of 50 years.
I am in the, like, give a stranger a hug mode.
Yeah, just kindness.
Honestly, I think any more of that type of, emotion, argument, anger, frustration, all of which are legitimate. Contempt, I think. I want to get rid of the contempt. Do you know Arthur Brooks? He's a scholar trained as an economist, and he's written a bunch of books. And we did an episode about him, with him, on a book he wrote about contempt a few years ago. And I was just re-listening to it because I think I want to replay it for our show, because I've been searching. You're always searching for, like, what to say about the moment. And my show, Freak Radio, like, we're not a news show at all.
Yeah.
Like, usually I have an idea for, like, we have a series coming out this winter that I had an idea for 2 years ago. I'm slow. But I'm always looking for ways as a writer to respond to the world we're in, but not to the moment, because that's a whole different conversation. And there's a whole
almost
news
implicitly
apparatus.
Reactionary. Would you agree? Like, anytime you're talking about something in the moment, you're almost certain to be reacting.
It's just not me. There are a lot of people who are great at it, who thrive at it, who love it. I hate it. I'm bad at it. So what am I going to do?
But contempt. This is a really valuable thing. The thing I think of is that wonderful man from the Institute, and we had him, and he's so beautiful, and he repairs marriages.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
John Gottman?
Yes, the Gottman Institute.
This was in blank. Yes, and the fact that he could watch a couple in couples therapy talk for 6 minutes and predict at a 90+% rate whether they would get divorced or not. And the single component was contempt. So having learned that, when I think about the level of contempt right now, and ultimately we're in a marriage. We're in a marriage. We're married, and we're not breaking up. The divorce isn't an option, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So given that we're married for life,
right?
Can we afford to have contempt for each other? I don't think we can.
There is conscious uncoupling. Let's not forget, right?
Yeah, please walk me through how that works mechanically.
Well, I mean,
it worked for Gwyneth,
agree.
didn't it? Didn't it work for Gwyneth?
Yeah,
like, it really worked.
Great with for Gwyneth.
Like, everybody made fun of her. I don't know anything
she's
about
the queen.
I don't know anything about her really, but I do know that she said that about the relationship, and it seems like...
And it's a beautiful thing, and they have a great family.
She could say that McDonald's French fries are good, and she get blasted.
It's awesome because she doesn't care. Like, she
the way to
really
be.
doesn't,
So
thank God.
That would be my first answer to your question going back, is you can't care. It's like, I'll give you there's There's a quote I like by John Wooden, the late, great UCLA basketball coach who coached these teams like some absurd number of college championships in a row, but was also known to be a great, like, it sounds like such a cliche, but a leader, a teacher, a coach. And like, he really, really affected the men that he coached.
Right.
Many of whom were very famous and many of whom became NBA players afterwards. But anyway, one of the things, he said two things about character that I like. Because character is something I think about a lot. I think we all...
Yeah, you like character versus reputation.
Oh, exactly. Right.
Yeah,
Very good. So you did your homework. So this is from John Wooden. I could never make this up. He said two things about character. One of them is fairly famous and I don't love it. He said, character is what you do when no one is watching. That's fine, but it's got a little bit of a godly, moralistic feeling to it that I personally... I grew up in a family where that was a feeling, and it's not my preferred mode of feeling. Anyway, the other thing he said though is that people should worry more about their character than your reputation, because reputation is simply what other people think of you.
Yes.
Whereas character is who you really are. That to me is the essence of it.
Yes.
And maybe that is the same as his other quote about characters, what you do when no one is watching.
But that chasm can be so shocking, right?
And
As
the
you get to
more
know
you
people.
worry about the reputation side, the harder it is to stoke your character.
Nurture.
That's the way I see it. The older I get, this is what I'm saying, like one of the advantages of getting older is not just actual history, but personal history and understanding how people are, how people change, what you need to accept about other people and about yourself and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've come to believe is that like all the cliches, I believe in all the cliches. Good character is really important. Being really, truly loving and kind to other people is like really, really, really important.
Yeah.
All the other things that we do for reputation or money, et cetera, they're necessary, they're understandable, they're fantastic in moderation. Ambition is great. The most dangerous part about the worst parts of our attention economy, I think, is that they incentivize people to be unkind. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Simple as that. We know that.
Yeah.
The science is pretty proven, but we got to stop that.
Back to the marriage thing, because I think it's relevant. I do want to say, though, in case anyone's listening who's in a bad marriage, there's
By the way, the odds are very, 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 very good.
That's
someone
somebody.
listening is in a very bad
That's
marriage.
right.
I hate
I don't
to
mean to
guess
say
that it
that.
might even be more than half.
yeah,
You
my
know?
guess.
Yeah.
And none of us should be saying that with a laugh in our voices. It's just a recognition
sad
of
truth.
How
the
fucking
fact-
hard it is.
It's hard.
It's so
Life
hard.
is hard.
Life is hard. But also, I think if you say like, well, we're married, and I know what you mean, because we're one country and we have to make it work. That's the reality. But also, like, abuse from one another is not okay.
Yeah.
And you would say in a marriage, if that's happening, to leave.
Right. Where do you go in this case, though?
Exactly.
Right.
Where do you go? So
That's what I'm saying. You got like a reverse engineer. It's
but
not an option.
abuse is happening.
Yeah.
And I think part of why it's getting so hot and escalated is because there's nowhere to go and there's abuse. It's getting so intolarable. Like, and I don't know what the answer is, but that's the reality of this
that's
marriage.
what I want to. I'm sincerely asking, what do you think the solution is to that?
I'm not smart enough to know. I can say I don't know.
I have a solution. I don't know that it would work,
Let's hear
but
it.
I have thought of what the solution is, and I think it is a 1-year moratorium on talking about politics. You still vote, you still do everything you do. But for 1 year, you put down the political identity, just for 1 year.
And
You're not allowed
that's
to
a
talk about it.
moratorium enacted by or carried out by whom, on whom, though?
Right. We don't live
By
in a
you
type of
on
country
everybody.
that could do that.
Right.
But if I had a magic wand
Right.
and I
right.
got
That's
to
what-
ask a wish,
Right.
I would ask everyone to try 1 year
Yeah.
of not talking about
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah.
The country's not going to fall apart if you don't talk about it. You can still vote. But I would be very curious what the temperature would be if we stopped
Yeah.
broadcasting our allegiance to a side. I just
Yeah.
am curious what that would look like.
I think it's a good idea. I also think that, knowing what I know about human behavior, when people recognize that they have a habit that they don't like, even if they want to get rid of it, and we could all name many, many bad habits that we've all had that we'd like to get rid of, but we know they're hard.
Yeah.
And there are different, stages or dimensions of addiction, let's say, right? It's really easy for someone outside of that mode to say, just stop it.
Right.
That's
yeah.
the obvious
Exactly.
answer from like the 30,000 foot parental view.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that if you're doing a thing, just stopping is hard because it's an activity, it makes you feel a certain way, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, there's stuff also happening. That's, I think, if there was nothing happening, then no one would have to.
But
Like, I
if,
wanna do-
if
I wanna
we
take
voted every
Stephen's-
month, if there was a vote at the end of every month, I would agree. You should stand up and try to get people to go and vote in the direction you want. But just given the reality that there's no outcome of the talking until the election happens.
Well, there
Knowing-
is little things, like there are things that happen from people talking. It just happened. Like Disney just felt a big hit from people.
yeah.
And so they made a decision, right? Like action does have impact. And I kind of want to take Stephen's advice and say, like, what is the definition of politics? If you're saying, if we're saying like we shouldn't talk about it, what is the definition of that?
Yeah, so I wrote down how much I believe this is metastasized. I think if you were an alien and you were looking at us and you said, okay, so your diet's politics. If you're a vegetarian, you're probably a liberal. If you're a carnivore, you're probably a Republican. Okay, your automobile choice. If you're electric, you're probably liberal. But within the electric, if you drive a Tesla, you're probably a Republican. And if you drive a Chevy, you're probably a liberal.
Especially Tesla truck.
If
Tesla
you shop
truck
at
is-
Lululemon, you're
Right.
a liberal. If you
Right.
shop at American Eagle now, you are a
Right.
Republican.
Right.
If you drink Bud Light, you are versus Coors. Your health.
Oh, is that true? Bud Light and Coors are the opposite?
Well, Bud Light had the trans person
that
on
I know,
top.
but what's Coors?
Coors
is
stayed
a
out of
liberal-
politics, and
Oh, but
everyone
it's
said,
not a
well, we're
liberal
going to
beer,
now
is
drink
it?
Coors.
Because I remember when Coors was considered a right-wing beer.
That's what I'm saying. Coors would represent the Republicans. Bud
sorry,
Light
sorry. I
represent
thought
the
you were
liberal.
saying that Bud Light post the trans scandal when they
Yeah,
got
I would say Bud Light is now-
Can I just say,
Yeah.
this is terrible. I hope they're not your sponsors, but I think anybody who's drinking either Bud Light or Coors can do better.
But your health, if you believe in psychiatry, you're probably liberal. If you believe in vaccines, that's a political decision. Patriotism's a political. If you have an American flag, that's political. School, do you believe in private homeschooling? That's probably Republican versus public school. TV shows, what shows you? So it's like literally every single thing now represents a commitment to your tribe, and I think that's really
I think
not
it's
great.
I think it's terrible.
Yeah,
think it's fucking
that
terrible.
list is, it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, you asked what is political, and I'm saying literally
No,
everything
you're right.
now.
You're right. We've dragged that label into the rest of our
Yes.
lives.
It is
I agree.
metastasized in
Right.
the sense that
Yeah.
it has spread.
But that's
to,
sort of my point. Like, if you're saying all of that is political, then how can we not talk about politics? It's if it's everything now, which I think it's crazy that people are doing that. But if you're saying that's true, then how will anyone talk?
Well, what'll happen is if everyone has to stop talking for a year about, I won't
just-
drive a Tesla because it's Republican. Well, the Tesla is going to slowly stop representing that. If I only liberals want, this. When we stop reinforcing these objects having political identities in everything in our life, and we're constantly broadcasting our political identity, if we stop that, I do think slowly we can depoliticize the world around us and then just go vote.
I think this goes back to what we were talking about a while ago about taking control of your own state of mind.
Yeah.
Framing and
Like, I don't know. Here's what I think without evidence. I think that most people who make everything political for themselves or for other people, which we would agree has a bad effect, I would argue that most of them probably don't really think that much about why they do it, but they've been suggested into it, right? There's currency for it, there's incentives to do it, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a certain point at which you feel like it's not having a good effect on your mind and body. Like, here's an example. This is also hard to prove, but one argument for why the crack epidemic went way down, not away, but way down, was because the demand fell so much because the next generation of user saw their older siblings or aunts and uncles using it. They said, oh my God, I want none of that.
Yeah.
they saw the wreckage. Up
That's
close.
kind of the way I feel about social media now.
Yeah.
I have the same, my glimmer of hope is like all future generations, they will hate what the one before them did. And I just pray that they're all watching this.
But I think younger people than all of us are already where we're hoping that we get
Yeah.
to.
That's
I think,
my hope.
I think we're the
I hope
bad
so, too.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because we also have more leverage to make chaos.
We do, because we are the CEOs of the company. We're at that age group. And
Yeah.
so we decide whether we are going
But I
to
also think
align
it's
ourselves.
I also think it's just a choice. Like I visited Scotland recently for golf, which was a life change. It was amazing.
I had no idea you were such a
I met
golfer.
remarkable. I went with members of this golf club of mine, so it was kind of a group effort. And it's something that if you had told me 20 years ago, you're going to be wearing a bright red club jacket and go to these
great. Why
clubs that
not?
were
I think
founded
it's
in
cute. I think it's cute.
1700 something, and you go and it's just really.
If you had vacation in Martha's Vineyard your whole life and you were telling me this, I would have a different, that's where my judgment would come in. But I kind of like this
It's
for
just
you.
like I think of life as anthropology. Like we're all anthropologists, and whenever you get to go to, like for me, coming to LA is like, oh my god, this is
I
live
bet.
anthropology. I love everything is different. Every telephone wire is different here. Every building, the angle of the sun. So for me, I'm just like it's being in a museum. It's being, you know.
Yes.
So anyway, over there, what was really interesting is I met a lot of different people from all different kinds of, realms. And there is a plain spokenness in Scotland that just doesn't exist among the people that I usually hang out with here. Because here, we're usually like, you're just describing like, well, if so-and-so does this, then they're aligned with that. And if they're aligned with that, that means that. And over there, a lot of conversations were much more like, that's a rock, don't trip over it. This is what I think about when I'm like making a show. I always think I don't want to make an about episode. I want to make an of episode. I feel like way too many of us are spending way too much time doing about thinking. What do I think about this as opposed to like, what am I? What am I doing? What am I accomplishing? And you can decide that as an individual. The problem is once it gets up into the corporate realm where we are all as individuals, customers. Like, you just gotta, like, anybody who thinks that, like, Twitter is their friend because it provides an open platform to do this and that, yes, that's partly true, but you have to really, I think most people by now understand that the customer is we are the product to a large degree. It's like the New York Times, where I used to work, and which I still love as an institution. I think it's still one of the greatest papers that ever will be. I think a lot of the Times coverage in the last 15 or so years has been much more geared toward telling people how they should think about a particular news story as opposed to what the story is.
I completely agree with that.
They'll have what the story is piece, but then it'll be surrounded and followed for days and weeks sometimes by opinion pieces. I don't really need opinion pieces, but the problem is that it's very, very, very marketable. I mean, that's, it's all about that.
Yes.
So for me, I'm glad the New York Times is thriving. A previous, I guess CEO or publisher, Mark Thompson, came in, and as far as I can tell, he saw that, news is important, but if we can sell recipes and games, then we can pay for the news, and that's a reorientation, and that really worked. Did that make the news slightly less, robust, serious? I think it probably did, or it's just the nature of how journalism has changed over time, but even the New York Times and our social media and our friends that we run into, we all are pushing each other into these ridiculously tiny little silos. And I think it's up to every individual to just say, like, the would-be next generation crack users are like, not for me. I would rather go surfing, go read a book, go play golf, go hang out with friends and do something. And live a life that is of, rather than like be an observer and think this is what that is about.
Right.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
I think for a lot of people, including myself, one thing that's hard to not do, or that comes naturally, at least to me and many other people, but not all people, that I've tried to just like diminish a lot, is the impulse to judge. The impulse to judge is, I think, a very, very smart, healthy, evolutionary trait because, think about it. Everything from life on the savannah, is that one going to eat me or, be my dinner, whatever. So you have to make judgments. Danny Kahneman, I'm sure you guys have dug into that, thinking fast and thinking slower, two viable ways of assessing things. But often when we make a consequential decision that should be thought through slowly, we make it fast. And so that's really bad. And I feel we do that all the time, internally, but then externally too. And when your first response is to judge something as, literally on a spectrum, positive or negative, versus, and this is what I try to do, but don't always succeed, is just observe and figure it out. So like, because I'm a writer and because I was very shy as a kid, I've always been very comfortable just being on the edge or the back wall and just watching and listening and taking it and trying to figure out who loves who hates who's mad at who, who's trying to impress who, et cetera, et cetera. And I feel like if you do that, at the very least, what you're going to do is you're going to start to empathize. And by empathize, I don't mean sympathize. I mean, you can feel yourself in that person's position a little bit. And that, for me, at least, changes the calculus.
Yeah, I have a very overlapping thing, which is like, I encourage people to have drastically different opinions. When a different opinion than yours signals a character assessment about the owner of the opinion, we've got a big problem.
Right, then it's a problem.
You've decided that the way you think is proof of character.
Yeah.
If you had character and you were a good person, you would think this way. So just to say, oh, wow, yeah, they have a different opinion, but I grant them they want this place to be the best.
Yeah.
They're in pursuit of what they think would be best for everybody.
Yeah.
I can grant them that. Now, we totally disagree on the best route there. Like, that is healthy. Having a difference of opinion and having debate and discourse, that is wonderful. When you are making character assessments of people because they don't agree with you, I think you're in trouble.
I agree.
Do you want to try an AI thought question?
Yeah, I do. Can I just say, though, I mean, I love this conversation. It's really exhausting. No. But I mean in a good way.
Yeah.
Because these are like, you're kind of just getting to the core of what it means to be a human at this place in time.
Yes,
And we're all
exactly.
narcissistic and we all think no other humans have ever felt like that. It's totally baloney. And you could argue the fact that we are so distressed about the things that are bad is a good sign because the human species is always trying to improve. And the only way you can improve is to take on the problems, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's optimistic.
But it's exhausting in a good way. But that I feel like all of us, like the planet, I feel is kind of exhausted. It's been a really wild, disorienting several years.
That's my other hope. My two glimmers of hope are the new generation, who will just be lame that we did this. And then also I do believe people fatigue. Yeah. And I'm just praying that we're approaching the fatigue, right, where it's like we all throw our hands up and be like, okay, I'm just too exhausted to do this anymore.
Yeah. Going to take a nap. By the way, I think napping is also really undervalued. I nap every day.
I love
28-minute caffeine nap. You drink the coffee before, then you wake up refreshed.
Okay, this is an AI question.
Or is this a Dax question?
No.
Saying it's an AI question.
Yeah, hiding behind an AI question. Why do we keep rebooting the 90s? Is it comfort food or a cultural panic button?
I need some terms, Siri or chat.
It says
or
the
whoever you are.
economics of retro branding, why people buy the past, whether nostalgia can actually predict the future.
Those do sound much less like you and much more like the ad. Those are fine. We could talk about that. Would it be kind of like having two robots play chess?
I just like that they actually encourage.
Are you happy that yours are so much better than theirs, though?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad you think so.
No, that was...
I will say this. I
hope that wasn't yours, because that was a demonstrably mushy question. Right? It wasn't...
It did curtail one exactly to you. It said, do you think there will ever be a Freakonomics book co-written with an AI? And would we even tell readers?
Oh, wow. That's that's they're pushing.
Well, what
they're
I like about it,
themselves. Can we write with you, Stephen?
To me, that shows integrity. Like, it's not afraid.
Oh.
It's not afraid to have you debate whether this thing should exist or not. This almost disproves this fear that they have,
I agree.
A consciousness they'll try to protect.
So here's the thing. My argument would be, my response to that question would be, let's define terms. What's AI? Yeah. What everybody's now calling AI is one version of artificial intelligence, but it's very close to many other versions we've already had and will have. It's like so when I first moved to New York, I'd quit playing music. I was going to graduate school for writing, and I didn't have any money. So I earned money by doing word processing. It was as big as like a Buick. It was a massive machine. And you had to put in these big floppy disks for each function. So there's like the create a file floppy disk, save a file floppy disk, spell check. But spell check and saving documents, all these things were some version of what we think of now as AI, right? It's just basically using compute power to do stuff that we've already known how to do, but do it better, more efficiently, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like we've been like, is a dictionary not AI? It's not my intelligence. I'm looking up what somebody else figured out. And they get passed on from generation to generation, too. It's a cumulative thing, which is really wonderful. Like, the reason that we don't have to learn calculus to build a microphone is because like generations of people did it. Now we buy it for like $200. How nuts is that? So what does that free us up to do? That's the same question we're asking now about AI. Right? Yeah, exactly. We've gotten to the lowest common denominator. It's like there's the old argument. I thought I made it up. It turns out I didn't make it up at all. But I argued years ago in some episode that when the AIs come for all of our jobs, then if we can turn into essentially pets the way dogs have been turned into pets, because dogs used to be work animals. All these dogs were bred for different kinds of really hard work. We didn't need that work anymore, and we kept a whole bunch of dogs around. Now we love our dogs more than we love our people.
Yeah, and if there's a future in which I just pee wherever I'm fucking at, sign me up. Someone comes and cleans it up.
Exactly. There was a Seinfeld line from years ago. He's like, if the Martian came down, sees the species, and the guy walking around picking up the poop from the dog, who's in charge here? The dog is in charge.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time that you were recommended a book on Amazon based on a previous book, you thought, wait, what's that?
Or on Netflix. Watch this. You like
and then
that.
the second time you thought, oh, that's kind of either weird, creepy, wonderful, whatever. And then the third time you're like, that's what it is. Yeah. And that's the way all technologies, are. And that's, this is something tangent, but like when you get used to things quickly, what the psychologists call habituation, like that can be a bad thing too.
Yeah.
Because you start to lack gratitude for things that are prima facie awesome. Like I can go pretty much anywhere I want in this country, turn on the faucet and drink it.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But once you're used to it,
This is what I got. My obsession is like, we'll watch these movies with my daughters, like Little Women, and they're in this big mansion, and everyone's dressed so beautifully. And I say, they had to go out in the yard and shit. Just remember that. However pretty that house is. Like, I'd live in a mobile home with an indoor toilet
you're a terrible father.
before I'd live in a mansion without
can't
indoor
ruin,
plumbing.
You can't
and that was
ruin that
5
fantasy.
minutes ago.
Yeah.
That was the 1800s, the early 1900s. That was 5 seconds ago.
True, but that's really
You had
cruel.
to go out in the yard in the middle of
Because
winter.
now they're going to be thinking about like, well, those dresses aren't very outhouse compatible.
Well, we know those
Like,
dresses were filthy.
They're full of stains.
I'm becoming very uncomfortable in this conversation.
I mean, also, literally, it's not available everywhere now.
True.
So
True.
forget that long ago.
True.
Even places in this world don't have it.
True.
So yes, we get very
The trend is good, but it's not everywhere. I feel like we always do this. We whip out the prosperity chart and say, you see, things are getting better, but there's still so much anger and suffering and frustration. And that's
And again, what are the
and we
terms
wanna
of
do
this
something
debate?
about it.
Are those the right metrics to evaluate how
we
we're
need
doing?
to talk about something slightly better for 5 minutes.
Okay.
okay. Like your
just
What
getting
favorite-
a
show are
little
you watching
sad.
that you love?
getting
I did just
sad.
watch a show. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm sorry to say. I watched your wife's show with the rabbi. I
Of
love
course
that.
you did. Because as it turns out, everybody
It was
saw
really, it was really good.
Can I tell you one funny thing about that if you want to have a funny thing?
I do.
So I go into my GP because I have this disgusting dead toenail. And
Is this unrelated to the carbuncle?
it is unrelated. Well, who knows? Maybe I will tell me that they're related. But at this point, I just have a dead, gross toenail. I dremeled it, and it looked like maybe I had cancer on it. So I'm finally going to go get it looked at. And he's about to look at my ugly toenail, and he goes, oh, yeah, what do we got here? You tell your wife. She's our shiksa. And I go, you got it. I will. He looks at it, and he goes, yeah. He goes, you know what? I got a guy across the hall. I'm friends with him. I bet I could get you into him right now. He's a podiatrist. I want him to look at it. And I go, sounds great. I have a referral, and I'm going in. He walks to me, and I've never met this man. You're not going to believe this. I swear to fucking God, it's true. Pull off my sock. Now he starts looking, and he goes, oh, by the way, you tell your wife, she's our shiksa. And I'm like, did you guys talk in the hallway earlier and
they
say
not?
like she's our shiksa? Like both doctors,
Oh
while
my
looking at
gosh.
my disgusting toes, stopped to tell me that my wife is their shiksa.
All right, so I'll say two things about that. It's pretty weird. Number two, I love the fact that both these doctors are comfortable enough with you to rather than go straight to the toenail to go to that.
Yeah, it feels like a HIPAA violation somehow.
Very much so.
I
think it's a
very
te-
much so.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Wait,
testament.
it's not. It's
Yeah, I
not.
don't actually think
No,
it is,
she's
but
not.
it feels like it. Like it
Yeah.
feels like some information shouldn't have been
feels like
crossed
it.
that way, but it actually is
I once
fine.
had a doctor say to me, I love that episode you did about ba 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 ba, and my husband is a huge fan of whatever it was, hockey, something.
Yeah.
And she said, I wish I could tell him about it. I said, what do you mean? What are you
What?
talking about? She said, well, I'd be uncomfortable telling him I listened to it, but because you're a patient,
Oh.
And like, because he might ask me, like, why do you listen to Freakonomics?
Yeah, what, do you got a crush on this?
Exactly. And then
Did you tell her to leave this marriage?
It's like, this is your this is your husband. You can't tell your husband that you have a patient who makes the radio show.
you
Yeah.
But you know what?
That unfortunately is also good.
But maybe
I
she's
really
not
respect-
allowed. Yeah.
I really respected her. She takes patient
Integrity.
seriously.
Confidentiality.
All right, where were
to
we? I
our
feel like I
marriage.
dragged us onto
No,
another.
no, that was. I thought that
You
was
wanted
lighthearted
you
and
wanted
fun.
a light
Oh,
moment.
that wasn't, podiatry
That
and
was lighthearted.
fungi toenails and yeah.
Stephen,
Yeah.
I love this. I love when you come on.
you love me being so
literally, I
uncomfortable?
want you to do it 100 more times. I guess that's my last question. I want to end on this.
Yeah.
15 years into this Freakonomics Radio,
Yeah.
do you have moments where you're like, I can't do it?
I have moments.
I kind of need to hear that you have those
I
moments.
have moments like, okay, short answer, yes.
Yeah.
But this is defining terms. Like, what do you mean by you say, no, I don't say I can't do it. It's hard. I think making anything that you care about, if you're making dinner for your family, if you're starting a company, whatever, if you make a thing like you're making here, like I make, if you care about a thing, it's hard. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two is I love what I do. And I'm very grateful for that because I think I know there are a lot of people in the world that do the work they do because they need to earn a living to take care of their family.
That's
and
right.
I think I respect that more than I respect,
Yeah.
I get to
Yes.
do what I like.
Of
So it's
course.
kind of like play.
Of
So I
course.
feel a little bit guilty about that, but I've gotten over feeling guilty about it. The hard part is even with all the tools, even with good AI, even with a great staff, even with more experience, et cetera, it's just you have to be like on your game all the time. The thing that would worry me is if I stop having ideas, because then you just feel like you're only as good as your ideas.
Yeah.
And like this is all I do. I don't have a job. I don't have that many commitments. My family is like support. Like I'm a good dad and father, but my family has really supported me when I have to go or do or think or whatever. Because when you're a writer, you're just in your head a lot. And so it's all I do. And so I keep having ideas. And I like having ideas. And I think ideas are like one of the single best things about us humans. And that the AIs will have facsimiles of it, but not the way we do. And so I don't know if I'll do it in another 15 years. I do get a little bit bored with certain kinds of episodes. So I'm constantly trying to change things up.
Yeah.
I do more series now. I'm trying to do more series that are a little bit more like writing a book. Doing a series right now on Handel's Messiah, that piece of music that I happen to love.
What it sounded like to me
Yeah.
is that it's the ideas that keep reigniting you.
Yes. You also have a taste for novelty. Everybody does, right?
Me in particular, I'm a novelty junkie.
With that attitude, you would be a very good golfer.
Oh,
Because most golfers were pretty terrible on average. Like, we try our best, we get better,
Yeah.
but it's really hard. But then you hit that one shot
And it buys you
and you
20
go to
more.
bed at night and you just think about how it smelled, how it felt, looking at the ball in the light. And then you still were sucky that day, but like that thing.
Oh,
and
you're
I would
chasing it.
argue that's kind of what life is, though. It's like
Yes.
a lot of what we all go through. It's not what we'd want to do.
Yeah.
But you go through it because you need to, and you're living your life, supporting your family, et cetera. But then you get hit with like a highlight, and you're like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you feel
yeah.
grateful for it.
All right, Stephen, this has been a blast. I hope you'll come back. Everybody, if you've never read Freakonomics, you are a Philistine. So go get it on the 20th anniversary, November 11th. You'll get a new foreword, a new jacket. Also, maybe the show's called Better in Person, probably not. You got Freakonomics Radio. No stupid questions. You still doing that with Angela? No, it's over.
We did
Okay.
3 years. It was awesome. But
Okay.
we rerun the archive.
Okay.
Which is actually in podcast world now. Like you guys will have this experience one day.
Mm-hmm.
A dormant show can still be a great show. A show that's not
Right.
being named, like reruns on TV, obviously.
Yeah.
But also podcast audiences cycle through pretty fast. So we have a lot of people. We still have about 70 or 80% as many people listen to NSQ, No Stupid Questions, as when it was new.
Wow.
Because people are either
They
they love it,
discover
they're
it.
coming back, or they discover
Yeah,
it. So
that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
whatever.
All right, wonderful. Well, we'll see you again because you're one of our
Yes.
I hope
favorites.
so.
Be
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the fact check. It's where the party's at.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I have a list.
Okay, let's hear it.
These are just a couple things that happened from Aaron and I's motorcycle trip.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. First of all, we had so much fun.
Good.
We rode 1,000 miles in 3 days. I got a blister.
Yep.
My carbuncles hurt. I mean,
Did you use the soap?
Yeah, I used it last night.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
MRSA soap.
Yeah, I used it last night.
Okay, good.
We got, it was a pretty short trip, but we did get to 2 salad bars.
Fun.
Shoney's.
Shoney's. I know.
Do you remember Shoney's?
Yeah, Shoney's. Holy shit. I haven't thought about Shoney's.
Holy Shoney's. I know something suspicious with Shoney's happened on this trip.
Okay.
One was we pulled over, we're just following the directions, and I see a goddamn Shoney's, and I'm like, I didn't even think they were still around.
Same.
And I was like, I think they have salad bars.
Shoney's.
God, it's a great restaurant. They had a full salad bar and a lunch bar.
What's a lunch? Oh, like hot
They
food.
had a big pan of hamburger patties and onions and a broth. That was delicious.
Wait, the patties were in a broth?
Yeah, it was just like this big stainless steel bucket of hamburger patties and broth and onions.
Strange. Okay.
Yeah, maybe like hamburger fried steak or something. I don't know what the hell it was, but that salad bar was great.
Okay.
We really enjoyed that. And then we got off at an exit on our way home, and we were heading to Waffle House.
Oh.
And I looked to my right, and I was like, Ruby Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't been to Ruby Tuesdays in 40 years, I think.
For some reason, that one doesn't get me as excited as Shoney's.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure we've made a lot more memories at Shoney's.
Yeah.
But I just was like, oh, when I went 40 years ago at the 12 Oaks Mall in Novi, Michigan, I think they had a salad bar. So I pulled into Ruby Tuesdays, and Eric goes, wow, Ruby Tuesdays. And I go, I think they might have a salad bar. He goes, well, let's check. Sure enough, walk in. Gorgeous salad bar.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I fucking love a salad bar.
I do love a salad bar too. Okay, now did you deviate your salad from Shoney's to Ruby Tuesdays?
Well, there were some more options at Ruby Tuesdays. The price point's a little different.
Okay.
So we did have my sunflower seeds I love.
Okay.
More seeds and stuff for me at Ruby Tuesdays, which was great.
Did you get this teeny tiny small pieces of ham?
No, but it's funny you'd say that. The bucket of ham was the largest bucket on the salad bar.
Okay.
It was bigger than the lettuce bowls.
Right.
There was so much ham. And Aaron loves his ham.
I love ham on a salad.
You do.
Yeah,
I don't really
on a
mess
salad
with
bar
ham on the salad.
But it's in these teeny tiny pieces,
know.
strips. They're so cute and chewy.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have loved it. There was a bucket of ham.
Do you put cheese?
Yeah, cheese, just to remind you, it's it's mushrooms.
Okay.
It's chopped egg if they had it.
Right.
Neither place had that.
Okay.
Well, that's a check mark.
Okay.
Garbanzo bean / whatever.
Chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
Mm-hmm.
Peas.
Okay.
Seeds, I always say, cheddar cheese. Then blue cheese dressing and the Catalina and a little bit of honey mustard. Mix all three.
Oh, my. Okay.
Yeah, and then several trips.
It's just we just have such different tastes in salad bar.
I know. I know. But that's great because we would never be competing.
Yeah.
Like if you got up there and there was like minimal blue cheese dressing left, I'd be panicked. You wouldn't care.
No, the only crossover we have is the cheddar cheese and
the lettuce.
Catalina and lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Although I go light on
seeds?
lettuce. I don't go seeds.
You should start
at
doing
a
some
salad
seeds.
bar.
These seeds are good for you.
I do put, that's the thing. My salad is not a salad bar salad to me is not meant to be healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's just one update. We did hit 2 salad bars in 4 days, which that's a great average.
Great.
Maybe we'll be back for my coffee table book that I'm still working on, The Great Salad Bars of America.
Right. Yeah.
Should they deserve Shoney? Okay. Oh, here's the Shoney's ding, ding, ding. So then I go out with Aaron flew home and I was there for one more night. So I picked Huey up in my Corvette. I was like, let's have a night on the town in the Corvette.
Okay.
It was so fun. We went to Bricktops. We had a delicious meal. And then on the way back, we just were cruising all over Nashville and going through different neighborhoods, and he's showing me things. And then we see this huge palace. This house, it was a palace. I was like, what is that, like 20-some thousand square feet? And he's like, yeah, at least. And he goes, that's the old CEO of Shoney's. And I'm like, what? That's the CEO of Shoney's?
That's so Sim.
I thought they were out of business. Also, did he do a good job?
He did. He did. Obviously, he owns a palace.
But Should the place be out of business and you own a palace and you're the CEO? Doesn't that feel a little
But it's not out of business, I guess. You went to one.
virtual? Well, yes, I went to one. I found one. And when I
Yeah.
posted a picture of it, every single person in the comment was like, oh my God, there's still a Shoney's. That's not
Yeah.
the biggest
I
sign
think
of
that-
success.
I wonder if that's can we look up how many Shoney's are left in the United States?
That's a great search. This guy still has his palace despite whatever happened.
Okay, well, like, I don't know if he doesn't deserve. He gave people a lot of food for a long time.
Clearly, it was very profitable for some period because his house was outrageous.
Wow.
Yeah.
58 of them across 15 states.
Are there any here?
They never were.
No,
Yeah.
Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia.
So all the South,
They
really.
still have them in Georgia. I
Now, will
haven't
you
seen-
look up what the maximum they had was at their peak?
This is 44% of the total.
That can't be right, man. I saw Shoney's everywhere, and this Shoney's just was like, it was a diamond in the rough. Anyways, I loved it. And
Was
I love
it
Shoney's.
crowded?
It was exactly what you think. We're both 50, and we were the youngest by 30 years.
Yeah. In 1998, there were 1,834 states.
There we go. 1,800 down to, what'd you say, 50-something?
Yeah.
58.
So that's not 44%.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
still surprised there's even 50.
So he must have built that palace when they had 1,800 locations. Okay. Now, second thing that happened was, so the first 2 days we rode too much, really.
Okay.
Went on the Dragon's Tail. This is a very famous road. There's like a kabillion turns in 22 miles. Maybe the curviest road in America, Huey said. That was beautiful. So fun. We got there. Next day, kind of a tactical blunder. As a surprise to Aaron, I had looked up if there were any cider mills in the area.
Ooh.
There was Granddaddy's Apples.
Oh.
So I said, first stop, I have a surprise. We went to the cider mill. Line was so long. Back to your Vista story.
Yeah.
It was a good 2-hour wait. So I said,
2 hours?
yeah,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You might have moved faster. if you-
maybe. I don't think so.
Okay.
So I said, let's just go get cider. You could go get cider. What was all the donuts was the line.
Oh.
So I said, let's go grab some cider and let's go just sit at a picnic table and hope someone's had their fill and then buy the donuts off of them. That was my
Wow.
approach, and it worked. We sat down next to this couple, and I bought I bought one donut for $20. I said, I'll give you $20 for one donut.
Oh my God.
And they were ethical, so they gave us two, which was nice.
Wow.
And so at first, the sticker shock of $20 for two donuts, right? I get it. That's gluttonous.
Yeah, no one liked
and
to-
shameful.
Yeah.
Unless you look at it this way. Get this 1 4-day trip of the year, 2 hours in that line. I said to Aaron, for anyone who makes more than $10 an hour, what we did was cheaper.
Yes, but like work is shitty, especially if you're probably working at a place where you're getting paid $11 an hour.
Yeah.
So to spend 2 of those hours that suck
Uh-huh.
towards 1 to 2 donuts.
If you're trading the 2 hours in line for 2 hours at work, yes, you'd probably be in line. You'd rather be in line. But I still stand by my math. That's a good way to look at it.
How come you still stand by it even though I poked a good hole?
Well, you're saying that the hours aren't comparable.
Yeah.
But for me, they're worse. It goes the other way. I'd rather do this show for 2 hours and stand on that line for 2 hours. And the people who bought the donuts are so happy because they were going to throw those away. And they basically were neutral. They didn't have to pay for their donuts. We got donuts without spending the
Sure.
2 hours in line. So everything felt really clean.
Okay. This is this is very reminiscent of the Taylor Swift concert when I paid someone to buy my
I know, but
clothes
mine's
and
a little different because I actually didn't add to the line in any way whatsoever. Because those people had already gone in the line. They had bought their dozen donuts. And I didn't show up and say, will you buy a second thing of donuts? Like, these were going in the trash. So I didn't really impede anyone else's day. And
you
these
still
people,
found a workaround
I did.
to get
I
what
did.
you wanted
I did
and
do
with
that.
money.
with money.
So this
I did
is
do that.
Taylor Swift sweatshirt.
That part of it's identical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I just didn't have to step in front of anyone and get it dicey.
He didn't step in front of anyone.
Oh, okay.
She was already in line.
Yeah. I don't know how you talked to her if you didn't get in line.
Oh,
but-
I mean that, but that's
Yeah, everything's
standing.
great. You did a
Okay,
great job.
Great.
We got these donuts, everything.
Were they good?
Oh, so good. So we leave there and I want to go to Looking Glass Falls. And so I put that in my nav on my phone, and I have it on the handlebar. And then I add that as a way, like as a stop along my route to go to Old Edwards Inn, which is much further away in a town called Highland.
Okay.
So we get to the falls, we take some pictures, everything's great. Go to put my phone, like resume my thing. Well, it like turned it off. And now I have no cell service because we're in the middle of the mountains. So I just started continuing riding. All this to say, when I finally got cell service, I think that blunder added about 2 hours to our ride that day. And it was chilly that day.
Oh, no.
We get all the way to this town. That's a side note. You can't eat. We walk. I've been debating whether or not I want to complain about this or not. There was a weird thing going on culturally on this trip, which is we went into many, many restaurants that were near empty, and they told us the wait was 1 hour. And I don't really understand what is going on, but it had happened so many times that when we got to Highland, we walked in this restaurant, and I said, hi, two. Mind you, it's like 3:40 p.m. No one's eating lunch at 3:40 p.m. And she goes, it'll be an hour. And I'm looking at the dining room, and I just couldn't resist.
Yeah.
There were like 3 tables taken out of 25 tables. And I said, it's going to be an hour to sit in the empty dining room?
Uh-oh.
And she goes, there are 10 parties ahead of you. And then I look around, and we're the only people there. And I go, where are you hiding the 10 parties?
You did. You couldn't.
I couldn't resist.
Okay.
There was not 10 parties. And the fucking dining room was empty.
Maybe they went down the street, and it's like you buzzed them.
I prefer they just said, I don't want to work. And I go, that's cool. I get it. I don't want to work a lot of times too. I'll leave. I don't want you to have to work if you don't want to work. But don't lie and then lie again to back up the first lie.
Yeah, I don't like this.
I was annoyed by this.
Can we say, though, potentially maybe they just had one server working?
And again, I think one server could have handled the 4th table. This was pretty consistent.
Really?
Yeah, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
Weird.
Yeah, it was very weird. I don't know what was going on. I think what's going on is it's a really busy time of year in that part of the country. A lot of people are going to look at the leaves turn.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't turned at all. So I think they're overwhelmed.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Forget that. Anyways,
Okay.
point is, by the time we got back to the hotel, we had ridden so long, and it was fucking cold. My hands were numb and the whole 9 yards. So I woke up on the next morning, and I'm like, I got to tell Aaron, I don't want to ride today.
How did you feel identity-wise?
It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's challenging. But I was like, oh, this is an opportunity for growth. Because the old me is like, you're riding every day, and you're riding hundreds of miles a day because that's what you came to do. But it was Sunday, there was football on, and I texted Aaron and I said, I hate to say this, but I think I want to just lay around all day today. And he said, I'm so glad you just sent this text. I was like panicked. You're going to want to ride more. We needed a break, right? So then I went online and I found a massage. And I wanted us to have, I just was lazy. I didn't want to try to book 2 different appointments. It felt like, because everything was so busy, I just went to couples massage. Because that way I know we can get a massage at the same time.
Yeah.
So I booked a couples massage for 7 p.m. on Sunday night.
Great.
I want to say the name of the place.
Romantic.
Can I say the name of the place?
Yeah.
Because it was so great. The name of the place in Asheville, if you're there, you must try it. Blazing Lotus Healing House.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay, so I also wrote in the comments, hey, it's two dudes, so we don't need to be in a couple's room if that's easier or harder, whatever. So we arrive at the thing, and I say, I don't know if you saw my thing. She goes, yeah, so we have 2 different rooms. I go, okay, let's do that. And she said, but we have a male and a female massage therapist. And I said, I'll take the dude. I go with Philip, and he's incredible. If you're going to go get Philip, he's insanely good. It was one of the best massages ever. I was so lucky. But while I'm laying there getting massage, I was just thinking in my head about people getting couples massages. And I was thinking, I can't imagine, I know I'm not. But I'm on the far edge of this spectrum, I recognize. So then I got curious. You don't think when a man and a woman go get a couples massage, and the dude's laying there getting a massage from a woman, and then his wife's getting a massage by a man, I don't think that man is ever getting jealous or worried that there's a man stroking his wife right next to him.
I don't know.
I don't think so, or they wouldn't do it.
Right.
And so then I just started thinking about that. Like, oh, this is a very interesting thing that this happens. Couples massage, isn't it? A man's watching or is next to his wife getting rubbed by another man and they don't care at all. And then I was like, okay, well, why don't they care? Mostly probably because they're just focused on the fact that they're getting rubbed.
Well, they're there. Like, I feel like they're like, nothing's going to happen. I'm right here.
Truly. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's framing. So that's fine if a man rubs your wife and gives her lots of pleasure.
Sure.
If it's her coworker, you're going to have a lot of problems. If it's a friend,
This is such
if it's a
a
friend,
stretch. Yeah.
you think it's a stretch. The activity is objectively the same.
I know, but the judgment isn't about the activity. It's
Okay.
about what it means. It's intimate. A massage is not, weirdly, even though it's so pleasurable, it's not intimate.
Right.
And if it crosses into intimacy, it's actually very uncomfortable, except for that one time.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
That one
here.
time.
Yeah.
If it's a coworker,
But let's say the coworker has not attracted to your wife.
they're not going to put themselves in the position to do that unless they are.
Yeah, I'm not doing a good job making my point. The activity is objectively the same.
Yeah. The motions.
Rubbing muscles with lotion.
Sure.
And so if you have a problem with one version, again, you've got to say, oh, he's attracted to her, where it becomes a problem. Or they're not a professional. Or.
Yeah, lots.
It's just you recognize what I'm saying about the fragility of the mind. That in this scenario, it's totally fine. I don't even think about it. But if it's anyone but this person, the activity itself is now objectionable.
Yeah, because of the nuance of what it means. There's no safety. Yes, there's no professionalism. There's no safety. The person's not sitting there. Even if it's not a couple's massage, even if it's just a woman goes and gets a massage from a man, the husband isn't there.
Right.
They probably don't. Although,
It's like a compartment we have in our head where we go like, yeah, it's totally fine if a stranger rubs my wife's naked body in this context.
Yeah, because there's boundaries around that context. Whereas if it's a coworker,
That's a great, don't you like the term coworker?
it's crazy. It is so crazy. Like, yeah, that's like they're pushing a boundary. The massage therapist at Glen Lotus,
Close.
is like they could get sued. Like there's boundaries.
But they could get sued. But you got to make all things equal. So the coworker's not attracted to your wife.
You can't make it equal. This is the nuance. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The motion, the physical motion is the same.
Yes.
But what's behind it is not the same.
Right. So then, exactly. So let's go through it because you got to be specific. So what's the issue with the coworker and not the person at the massage?
Intimacy, emotional intimacy.
But you're assuming that there's like Erica from our pod could give me a massage. There would be nothing going on at all. Like we would all agree.
Well, I don't know that we'd all agree. I'll be honest. If all of a sudden it's like Erica's gonna give Dax a massage, I think we'd all be like, why?
But that, right. In this scenario,
if it's a physical therapist or something, if it's a physical therapist friend, that's different to me because that is like medical.
I know, but it's funny because we've like, again, it's just a very arbitrary bracket we assign. Like because the person is a professional, which means what they went to massage school.
And they're in a business.
The act of touching my naked partner is fine because of X, Y, and Z. They're trained.
Well, not just because they're trained, because they have stuff to lose. There are parameters around that. They work for a business or own a business.
I guess what I'm saying is if you could establish the coworker's rubbing your wife because he's horny for her, I get it. You got a problem. If the coworker's dispassionately doing the exact same thing that the massage therapist is, it's funny that that's a big difference.
It just would never, that's never happened. That a coworker gives a non-business passionate nothing.
All right, I
Unless,
couldn't get you on board.
unless the coworker is getting his massage therapy license. That's a situation where it's like, I have to practice, I have to get so many hours in.
Yeah.
That's different. But this regular at office two coworkers, no.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
But again, I think what you believe you're objecting to is this coworker wants to rub my wife. But I'm asking for the scenario to be the same as the masseuse, which is the coworker doesn't want to rub your wife.
Then why is he?
Because your wife asked him and they have a massage table at work. I don't know why.
But this is, but Dax,
You're just saying it couldn't happen without those other
Yeah,
things at
like
play. But
it-
it could.
how?
Because I've
if
rubbed
the-
lots of people's shoulders and stuff. All right. Well, I really thought I was going to have something here, but I don't. I think it's just really funny
You
that
haven't
it's fine
rubbed-
to have a dude rub your naked wife in one context, and then it's completely objectionable in another. I think is funny.
Yes, because it is. I hear what you're saying, but the difference is boundaries and no boundaries, and that is real. Those are real.
Yeah, I just don't think people then get specific about what that means. What are the boundaries that are being crossed? Is it that no one can touch your wife? No, because in this scenario they can. Is it they're attracted to my wife and want to rub her sexually? Yeah, that's a huge objection.
Mhm.
But Jess, your friend, could give you a massage and
Yeah.
none of those things would be on the table.
Well, he's not
'Cause he's
yeah,
gay.
Yeah, he has. There's no. But even okay. So yes, like he isn't attracted to me, so that feels kind of fine. It also still kind of doesn't. Like, I think I would be like feel a little uncomfortable.
You want some anonymity when someone's
Yeah,
seeing you nude.
It's nudity.
is best done anonymously.
Is either for a partner for the
Uh-huh.
most part. I mean,
Uh-huh.
this is not like or for like
Yeah.
pleasure in an anonymous way.
Yeah. I just think if you were the alien in the spaceship and you saw this man like watch his wife's getting rubbed by a stranger next to him and he's completely at peace and he's getting rubbed, everything's groovy. And then he walks in his house and the neighbor's giving, and then he goes crazy and murders the guy. I think if you're the alien, you might just be like, oh, this is really funny.
I guess. I mean, this is a ding, ding, ding because I had friends in town from Georgia,
Yeah.
which was really, really fun. And one of the
Hair play.
people, one of the people, Gina, Gina is my hair play and massages partner.
Uh-huh.
So we've been doing hair play and massages since we were 11.
Yeah.
And if we're ever like together, we make sure that happens.
Yeah.
And it is like, everyone always has this like,
Your friends
yes.
don't like it.
Yeah. Or they like it, but they're like, I think they think it's kinky.
Yeah.
And it is always really funny because it is so not. Like it is
Right.
so benign. It's nothing.
Yeah.
So I guess in some ways this is sort of what you're talking about.
That's what I'm
kind
saying.
of.
Yeah.
But it's different when it's a man and a woman if they're heterosexual. Like me and Gina are heterosexual, so there is something about like it's fine.
But I don't. I just don't think everyone's attracted to each other because they're opposite sex. I mean, I think it's a
well,
very
you are.
tiny.
You say that about everyone. You say I'm attracted to everyone. It's definitely not a tiny. I think most men who see a woman naked mostly
could fuck.
are going to be like
Yeah, I don't
attracted.
think that's the case for women.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
So that's
so
why
I'm not worried that my wife's attracted to the massage therapist.
Yeah, and I don't
Or
think
the
it's
neighbor.
reverse really where a wife is all that worried about their husband going to a massage therapist. Woman.
Right, which is ironic because that's who should be nervous. My
Why?
example is
No.
because, as you just said, a guy will take a blowjob from a billy goat. a man shouldn't be that worried about his wife getting a massage because in general, the wife's not just randomly attracted to every guy that would be rubbing her.
Yeah.
And I'm this whole thing started with me being the man dealing with your wife's naked getting rubbed by another man and you don't care. And you should probably not care too much, period, because I don't think most women are going to get horned up over a random dude giving them a massage.
Yeah, but exactly. So it's a coworker's not a random dude, and
But I bet your wife's not attracted to 99% of her coworkers.
Well, if she's getting a massage from a coworker, she probably
it's the one
is.
she's not attracted to.
That's not.
I said it can't be about attraction.
But
the massage can't be.
Again, there's no.
Because then you have a real problem. Your wife is engaging with someone she's attracted to in an intimate activity.
Yeah.
But my scenario is she's not attracted to the coworker. He just doesn't have this title. So you make a big deal. Okay, we're done with it. We're done with it.
Wow. Wow, I guess that was it. But hair play and massages were fan. We didn't get to massages because it was too late.
I understand the hair play, but what are the parameters of the massage? You guys get bare naked? And
no, not bare naked. Normally.
Is it full body massage?
No, just back.
Okay.
Back massage.
Full body changes it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like if your friend's working on your butt cheek, working on your glute.
She is a physical therapist, so I would maybe let her do that.
Yeah, you should. And she should do it to me too.
God, it's been a minute since I think shirts are off.
Oh wow.
But you're laying down.
Okay.
So no one's it's not
bras off?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, this is a bit kinky.
But no, because you're laying down as if you are in a massage.
Yeah, of course.
And then we normally sit on the butt.
Sit on the butt. Is there lotion involved?
No.
It's a dry rub.
Yeah, it's dry.
It's a Memphis dry rub.
Are the shirts off? Now I don't remember.
Might be a shirt on massage.
It might.
God, you can't even remember. I'd be so hurt if I were her.
Fuck, should I
I would be hurt.
No, I think it's shirts off.
Yeah, it's got to be. Shirts. What's the point?
But hair play is first,
off.
And hair play is the
best
main
part.
Yeah, it's the best part.
So you guys did find time to play with each other's hair.
Yep.
And how does that work? It's a 10-minute chunk or 15
so
or is it honor code?
It's honor.
No, you need a timer.
I know you wouldn't like that, and sometimes I do stress out about it a little bit. Like, what if I don't reciprocate the way I'm supposed to because I am not paying attention? Normally, I go first.
You receive first?
Yeah.
Okay, explain that. How come that's the system?
I don't know. It's just like something. It's just what we've been doing.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, and so I am like, I wonder how long it's gone, so I know what to do.
Yeah,
but I normally try to let that go.
Just look at the clock before it starts, and then
it's so fun. And brushes and
there's brushing.
Braid, like you'll do.
Do y'all's
braids.
hair look crazy afterwards? Is it like all super big?
Not really.
Oh, I just picture everyone's hair like this afterwards, like ratting it and twisting it and combing it.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so good.
But even that's a distinction, right? Like, I think people would be jealous. Like, it can feel so good and not be sexual.
Of course.
Right. But I think people think anything feels good, they're triggered. Yeah.
I understand that. That's true. But again, a massage is like that. A regular massage is like that at a place. It feels so good, but there's zero. I mean, again, there are some exceptions, but zero sexual feelings or intimacy. And we're chit-chatting during hair play and massages.
Okay.
So we're catching
Time's
up.
flying.
Yeah, time is flying.
Do you think you did the same amount she did to you or a little less?
I just think maybe I
You're
did a
worried.
little.
Yeah. This is your donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think our framing of things is just so funny and arbitrary.
It is interesting that, it is a strange sim because I did have that thought, the same thought, sort of, which is like, it's so funny that they all think, they can't imagine a world in which our hair play and massages isn't kinky.
Right.
Like, they can't imagine that.
Yes.
They think it's weird.
So, yeah. And great. So we bond on that.
Yeah.
I'm regularly just like, I can't grasp the level of jealousy everyone else
Yes.
experiences. Like, I
Yes.
just can't find purchase in it.
Yeah.
And then I'm always just looking at these, like, what I think are mental hiccups or inconsistencies with the whole thing. It's just
course.
like, yeah, you'd be totally fine with this.
Yeah, it is context though. Again, that's why I think I'm like, you just need more information to know whether jealousy should happen or not.
Yeah.
When it's two heterosexual females who've been doing this since they were 11,
Yeah.
I mean, her husband, Robbie, shout out Robbie, he doesn't care.
Well, bet not. I bet he's sitting in the corner with his playing pocket pool.
Don't say
Pool pocket.
pool pocket. No, he knows it's nothing.
Is it kinky if he plays pocket pool while this is happening?
Yes,
yeah,
that
it is.
takes it up to a
is,
different
is.
level.
Okay.
Well, would you let a coworker check your prostate?
Well, you're my coworker, so I guess you're asking if I would let you
Yeah.
check my prostate.
Let's go.
If you could accomplish what needed to be accomplished and I needed to know, yeah,
You would not.
I would. If I needed to know
Okay. Would
and
you
he knew,
would you let me? And that's a better comp because we're two heterosexual people.
yeah.
No, you
I would
wouldn't.
have to run that by my wife.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she would say no.
Well, no. If I need, again,
This is not a diss on her.
no. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is if I needed to find out if my prostate was big because then next steps needed to be taken.
Yeah.
And you, for whatever reason, you knew just as well as my doctor if it was enlarged. And we were stuck somewhere. And I called her and said, I got to find out if I got to go to the emergency room. The only way is Monica has to put her finger in my butt. But don't worry, she knows what size the prostate
See, again,
is.
there's so much
There's a lot.
context.
There's
There's
a
a
lot.
lot of
Yeah, yeah.
context.
But what I do know about her is if I needed that to be done, she wouldn't care who did it as long as the thing I needed to get done got done.
I don't know about that, and it's not anything to do. It's nothing about her. It's just it's okay for her to have boundaries. It's okay
Of
for her to say, you know
course.
what, I'm actually not all that comfortable with that.
Yes.
I'd prefer you go to the emergency room.
Right, but that's not an option. That's why I
Oh.
painted it very
Okay,
specifically. No, it's everything.
Well,
I'm not
Dax-
calling her to say, hey, hon, can Monica put her finger in my butt for fun? That's a call I'm not making.
Obviously.
And she's not saying yes to.
I know, but now you made a scenario that's like not a real scenario.
No, it is a real scenario. The whole reason I just let a man put his finger up my butt right now is because I had to.
Yeah, but he's a doctor.
Yes,
So, and you
I
didn't
had to have that done.
Yeah.
And if nobody was around to do the thing I had to have done,
I know, but Dax, my point is that scenario you're saying right now, nobody's around
yeah,
to have something done that you need done, which is put a finger up your butt.
yes.
Is not real. Like
No, it's not real.
Yeah,
it's not real at all.
You'll never be in that situation where you can't get to a hospital and only a female coworker is with you.
My point is if something had to be done for my health that involved you or any female coworker was the only person that do it, Kristen would say yes, as I would too. Like if you
Right.
have to have something done, I can get over my jealousy
Right.
for you to be healthy and safe.
Sure. I mean, massage is a little different.
No, but we went to
yeah, we moved
went
it
to
over.
prostate,
I know.
which
I know.
I just had to have done.
But
Not because I wanted to.
right.
Yeah.
I-
and not because he
again.
wanted to put his finger in my butt.
Yeah, he's a professional, and so there's boundaries there.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do facts.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I'm not going to do what I did last time this happened, where I presented the facts and everyone in the whole world listening, including you, was like, these are really good. These are really intricate. You really did it this time.
A real deep dive. I don't know what got into you, but
Yep.
it was a deep dive. And it turned out,
It was Sophia.
yeah. Good.
Um,
God bless Sophia.
Sophia is back on the facts today.
Oh, wow. So this, for both of us, will be illuminating.
Yes. And she's better than me at this. So they're going to be good. Okay. What is Confederate money and how much was it worth? Answer/correction. Confederate money or Confederate States dollar was paper currency issued by the Confederacy between 1861 and 1865 to fund the Civil War. It was backed only by the future payment after Southern victory. It started out roughly the same value as U.S. dollar, but by 1863 it was worth 6 cents per U.S. dollar, and by 1865 it was worthless.
Uh-oh.
Today, given rarity, it could be worth much more.
Oh, more than valueless. That seems
Right.
like a low bar.
Right,
Yeah. Or less than 6 cents on a dollar.
right. And it probably depends on where you are, where that would be worth something or not.
Yes.
Who's that? Who's the guy we have on who collects the hair,
Oh,
the presidential hair?
Cohen.
Jared Cohen.
Jared Cohen.
Jared Cohen.
He might have some Confederate money.
Yeah. He's a collector of history.
It's, boy, how do I say this? I do not want to offend the South, but it's adjacent to people who collect Nazi memorabilia. It's haunting. It's so powerful. My whole point is like, if you walk into someone's house and they have all these Confederate dollars, do you go like, oh, is this person worth it? Do they like, or were they an anti-abolitionist?
You need to learn more.
Yeah.
You need to have more conversations with that person because, yeah, they could be just a huge history buff.
Yeah. Like I could own some Nazi plates, and it would not make me in any way
I
a Nazi
know.
or someone who thought anything that Hitler
God,
was about was
this
good.
is so complicated. Yes, because yes, you could definitely own that as like, whoa, this is like a piece of world history. How wild! And
Yeah.
and
It's a piece of the most dramatic chapter in modern history.
horrific, the most
Yeah.
horrific. Yeah. But here's where things get tricky. Is like if a Jewish friend comes over and you have these like Nazi plates out.
Displayed.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, this is just because I'm a history buff.
Right. I
Don't-
also have Genghis Khan's belt over there.
Right. And
Yeah.
they probably would be like, okay, like they would probably be able to see that as truth,
Yeah.
but they are not going to be able to look at that and not feel pain.
Yep.
And same with Confederate dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So, because this goes back to the whole
The flag.
Confederate flag.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I understand that to you it doesn't mean that, but to so many people
Yeah.
and it did mean that.
I accept both realities.
Yeah.
And there's a third,
Mm-hmm.
which is there are a lot of people that love the Confederate flag because they are displaying their racism.
Sure.
Like that's
yeah.
definitely happening.
Yeah.
When I
more
drive
and more now.
through certain areas.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know what they're saying.
Yep.
And there are some people like the hunting, fishing South, the
Mhm.
pride of the South. I really believe them.
I believe them too, but
Yeah.
that's my point. And I have one of my best friends, I think struggled with this for a little bit. He's Southern, and he's like a hunter, fisher,
Yeah.
also like a professor. He has a PhD. He's very introspective and smart.
Yeah.
And so I think he was struggling with this for a while because he's like, no, it represents this. But he did come around to
Yeah.
like, but no.
And again, he barely got there and he's a professor. Some people don't.
Some people don't do that.
Yeah.
And I wish they would, I guess. I wish they would. But yeah, it's anywho. Okay. Did printing money in the US start during the Civil War? First federally issued paper currency, the greenbacks, was introduced during the Civil War in 1861 under the Legal Tender Act. Paper money dated as far back as 1690, but not on the national scale. So money was largely coinage or banknotes before 1861. The U.S. dollar in coin form originated in 1792. But yes, nationwide legal tender notes began by the Treasury during the Civil War. Okay, who wrote the Grant, Twain, Adams, Hamilton biographies, and when were they written? Grant, 2017 by Ron Chernow.
We love him. Wow, I love him.
Twain,
I love him.
2005 by Ron Powers.
No, that's not the one I'm listening to.
Well, we are listening to the new one now.
Yeah, which is Ron Chernow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is an old one.
Oh, okay.
Adams, 2001 by McCullough. Hamilton, 2004 by Ron Chernow.
Okay, so Hamilton's Chernow in McCullough's Adams.
Oh, wow. This is an important one. When did humans stop eating poop?
Mm.
Okay. Answer. Can't find reliable data.
Yeah, that was my hunch. Yeah, hard to know.
Really hard to know.
We'd need a cave painting of a man eating a pile of poop that had just fallen out of another human.
And then the next painting where he's not doing that.
There's a circle with a line through it. Don't do this. You sicko.
Okay. Do rabbits poop 200 to 300 times a day? What is the average number of time animal poops a day? I mean, I already did this on a previous fact, so turns out I am pretty good at this.
Right, because now we're just
Reusing.
rehashing.
But I'll go through them again. Rabbits, 200 to 300. Moose, 13 to 21. Birds, 12 to 40. Geese every 12 minutes.
Gross.
Penguins up to 140 times a day.
I wonder if the geese and birds have to poop that much evolutionarily to keep themselves light.
Oh,
As we know, their bones are hollow, so they can fly.
yeah.
Maybe like
bird
you
bones.
can't carry around a pound of
That's true.
dung.
Okay. Fun fact, blue whales supposedly excrete 200 liters of poop in one single bowel movement.
200 liters.
How much is that?
See how many gallons that is.
Yeah.
52.8 gallons.
In one poop? Oh my
Gross.
God, that's disgusting. No wonder the ocean is polluted.
When you were gone and we did a couple armchairs, Aaron and I,
Armchair
one of the
Anonymous.
guys was a submarine
Oh,
worker,
uh-huh,
submariner,
uh-huh.
and yeah, they squirt their tanks out, their waste tanks.
Into the ocean?
They have to. They
Yeah.
don't come up for 6 months.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he said there is a feeding frenzy outside the.
Ew.
And I bet there is when these blue whales let loose too.
Ah, gross. Who coined the term illusion of fluency? Woo Kyung-on, 2022 guest.
Woo
Woo Kyung-on.
Kyung.
She was so playful and fun.
We loved her.
Yes. Cognitive psychologist and professor of psychology at Yale.
Mm.
She talks about allure of fluency can trick us into thinking we can do something simply because it felt easy, which leads to the illusion of fluency.
Yeah.
She was cool. Go back in the archive, listen to her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, that was a good episode. And that's it for Sophia's facts on Stephen Dubner.
Oh, great. Good job, Sophia.
Yeah, good
job
job.
reporting them, Monica.
Thank you.
Rob, good job. All
all right.
I love you.
Love you.